I think that's a good spot. Good place to save. All right, dudes. We ready for some space news? There's a lot of stuff. The chopsticks started moving up and down today, 2 days ago. So I'm going to take a quick break. I'm going to grab something to eat, and then we'll jump into some space news. Okay. So I'll get you guys teed up with a video here. Oh, geez, Thomas. Okay. Okay, I got all that. Can we watch The Dream is Alive yet? We watched it last stream. I'm fairly confident it's public domain, but I don't want to show it too much just to be sure. So let me look around here. Actually, there might be something around. Let's see. Not space news, but it's interesting. It's happening. Okay. Oh, neat. Jurassic Park. Oh, here, I got a jam handy video that we haven't seen before. Alright, I'll be back in a second, guys. Alright, let's just roll with it.
بالم خربة بالم خربة عشان خربة شوفي هذه بالم خربة ميزان السكين مفتوح المحنك ما بيسوي.
And so, as I have said before...
No. The water clock is at last empty.
Enough. Your time is up. The water has all run out. Mud. There's mud in the water clock.
No, you must not. The clock is often clogged with dirt. Why must you clean it now? Why must my speech be made shorter?
Order! Order!
Barter and exchange, forerunner of modern systems of coinage, was a simple, even enviable method of transacting business. But scales that swing in favor of one man must necessarily cheat the other. Primitive means of measuring time, weight, and distance were a part of the primitive life a few hundred years ago. The senses of justice, of fairness, of honesty, of need for accuracy were dulled by man's lack of proper measuring tools. As life's pace through the centuries grew more rapid and its complexities increased, man, of necessity, grew more cautious, became interested in more accurate means of measuring time, weight, and distance. He began to give more attention to the problem of measurement as it concerned his personal life and the value of his property, and then considered it in relation to his neighbor's welfare. And as horizons expanded and man explored new lands, his methods of measuring distance necessarily became finer. As he became more observant, time assumed more value in his personal and public life, and so his sense of time became sharper. Weights, as diversified as the people who originated them, and most commonly subject to inaccuracy and fraud, also came under man's surveillance. They gradually approached a standard. More delicate, more sensitive instruments were developed to aid him in determining the extent of his possessions and purchases and in plotting his course. During these centuries, measurement of time dwindled from days to hours, to minutes, to seconds. Finally, seconds were divided into hundreds, thousands of parts. Fine measurement did not stop at the weight of a seed, but went on to the weight of a grain of sand, the weight of an eyelash. Haphazard measurement of length gave place to the standard yard, the standard inch, and the single inch was divided into 10,000 parts.
Today, accuracy and precision have taken on new meanings. Split seconds, hundredths of an ounce, thousandths of an inch have become of vital importance in the exploration of new worlds of science, invention, and development. New instruments, new and delicate measuring devices have added to the power of man's senses. Now science knows the answers to such questions as, how long does an explosion last? That question is answered in laboratories where the 24-hour day has been divided into millions of split seconds. How fast is an electric spark? Not so fast that it cannot be measured to the thousandth part of a second by the electric oscillograph. How flexible is steel? The amount of bending of a railroad track under tons of speeding weight is easily visible. But science has gone far beyond ordinary rules of measurement. We can measure the movement of the same steel rail under the light pressure of a finger. With a delicate electric telemeter, the movement in the section of the railroad track can be measured in millionths of an inch, 8 millionths under the pressure of a few ounces. How small is 8 millionths of an inch? Compared with the average thickness of a human hair, magnified thousands and thousands of times under the microscope, 8 millionths of an inch would correspond to the thin white line in the center of the hair. That's how far the finger bends the rail. How heavy is a speck of dust? How much does smoke weigh? How much does a tiny black dot from a lead pencil weigh? The finest scales can tell. Scales operating on so fine a balance that they must be enclosed in glass and the air artificially conditioned. Scales so sensitive that the breeze from a moving hand would completely unbalance the indicator. And the answer comes not in ounces, but in millionths of an ounce. A slow, tedious job, weighing minute particles. But the patience of science parallels the precision of its instruments, reaching into the world of the infinitely small, interpreting it in terms of the new language of measurement. The tiny dot from the lead pencil can be magnified until we see the fibers in the sheet of paper. And the scattered bits of black are as big as chunks of coal. With microscope lenses that carry us farther and farther beyond the range of the human eye, we can lose ourselves in a newspaper reproduction of a photograph. until nothing is left but meaningless dots. How sharp is a sharp edge? The cutting blade of a pair of scissors, under the searching eye of the microscope, appears rough and jagged. The peaks and valleys on the edge of the blade can be easily seen. What's in a mixture? How many parts of this and how many parts of that? A beaker full of water from a large swimming pool, and mixed with all the water in that pool, a single teaspoonful of salt. How much salt is in the beaker? Finding the answer is as complicated as finding one man in a crowd of hundreds of thousands of people. But the presence of infinitely small particles of matter can be detected when the residue from the beaker is burned and a picture of the flame taken with a spectrograph. The teaspoonful of salt in the swimming pool leaves its signature of tiny lines on a photographic film. Through such precision instruments as these, our standards of accuracy are being changed. Science has opened the gateway to new conquests in accuracy of measurement. The yardstick has expanded until hundredths of an inch, thousandths of an inch, even millionths have become measurable quantities. And the power of man's senses has been extended to reach into a new world that he cannot see or hear or feel without the aid of science. A world in which the most familiar objects become strange and unrecognizable because our standards of comparison have grown infinitely small. Chemists and engineers, the scientists of industry, are becoming more and more familiar with the fantastic land beyond the microscope. Through lenses which magnify hundreds and thousands of times, metal experts count and even measure the crystal structures which make up iron and steel. A measuring stick smaller than a pinhead is used, with tiny lines a thousandth of an inch apart. Under the searching lens of the microscope, small blocks of metal in the laboratory tell the secrets of the millions of tons of iron and steel that go into the huge manufacturing plants. And in these plants, microscopic precision controls the form and size and surface of every part. Through the development for factory use of all these precision devices for the measurement of things infinitely small, within limits of tolerance that are almost absolute, we are now able to meet the precision demands of quantity production of fine parts on the basis of standardization and complete interchangeability. Gauges to test the hardness and toughness of metals are miracles of modern precision. A device known as the scleroscope is used to measure the degree of resistance of metal parts such as the camshaft. A small weight in the tube is dropped on the surface being tested. The amount of bounce measures the hardness of the surface. Hard metals are also tested in a large master gauge. The metal is placed on a support and a diamond point is forced into the surface. The distance the point penetrates is measured accurately on a dial to determine the exact degree of hardness. A similar type of master gauge is used for checking the toughness of metals. In this method, a steel ball under great pressure is forced into the surface of the metal. The dent or hollow formed in the test specimen is measured under the microscope. Master instruments check the accuracy of measurements within 0.5 thousandths of an inch. Master gauges check the accuracy of tools and parts used in the factories and on the assembly lines. This precision control of manufacturing operations, for example, gives an exact fit between piston and piston pin. The size of the parts is so accurately controlled that if the piston is chilled for a moment on ice, it will contract. and the pin, when warmed, will expand enough so that the two will no longer fit. Under all ordinary conditions, the two parts will fit perfectly. But if we reverse the operation and warm the piston, it will expand again, and the pin, chilled on ice, will contract and now fits too loosely in the hole. Limits of accuracy in inspection of piston pins are so small that they are almost beyond comparison. Finished pins fit smoothly into the pistons with no difference in size over 1/10 of a thousandth of an inch. Surfaces of moving parts are checked within extremes of measurements that are invisible to the human eye. Sensitive electric meters and delicate feeler points check piston diameters in terms of a single inch divided into 10,000 parts. Cylinders are checked for equal perfection in diameter, roundness, and smoothness. Precision cutting machines shape and round the cylinders. Precision polishing machines polish and grind the walls to smoothness. And precision gauges guide the inspection of the finished work. The pistons move up and down in the cylinders of the automobile engine with just enough room to spare for a film of oil thinner than the walls of a soap bubble. In the careful assembly and fitting together of the parts, many different types of gauges are needed. In the factory, a gauge known as an amplifying indicator is used as a precision check on the fit of the main bearings. A delicate feeler arm which travels over the surface of the bearing
right there.
is connected so that its slightest movement shows on a dial marked in 10,000ths of an inch. The tools called go and no-go gauges automatically guard the perfection of every part. The utmost precision is carried directly into every step of manufacture.
Yeah, sure.
The openings between the two prongs of this gauge have been set according to exact measurements. A valve stem that will not go through the top opening is rejected because it is too large. A valve stem that will go through both openings is also rejected because it is too small. A perfect valve stem will go through the top opening and will not go through the bottom opening, yet the difference is less than the thickness of a hair. Inspection of automobile parts in the factory requires the use of many different sizes and shapes of gauges. Special gauges are used to measure the surfaces of transmission gears. Slight imperfections are magnified so that only perfect gears may find their way into the finished product. The dials detect the smallest variation in the sensitive feeler point as the gears are inspected.
Yep, he's using a dial indicator.
Another tool, electrical pickup and amplification, has been perfected and put into use to detect flaws. Does this sound like the rhythmical beat of a jungle drum? Actually, it is the sound of a human heart which science can amplify 1,000,000 times, just as sound can be amplified by measuring instruments in factories to make sure that gears are smooth.
Chevy actually never know, but close. I know, JSB, I know what you mean.
Throughout the great manufacturing plants, tools, instruments, gauges work with almost uncanny intelligence, sorting and selecting, checking, passing or rejecting, ever on guard for the slightest imperfection.
Yep.
Accuracy, precision, exactness have been brought to new significance in the microscopic world of scientific measurements, utilizing everything that modern science and research can provide
like
in the
Conner
way
Avenue.
of measurements that are precisely so.
Is it possible to tune an engine to idle at 70 miles an hour on a 0% grade? With gearing, Shady, yeah, of course. I'm getting some real Bioshock vibes from this. See, I told you it was Chevy. Oh. So yeah, tolerances and stuff. Pretty cool, huh? They still do that. If you like, if we were gonna build an engine on stream, all those tools we'd be using. Dial indicators, micrometers, stuff like that. The Albert Speer version of no, I killed him in our Hearts of Iron save. We shot him in the face. Hey Jim, 79-month resub. Thank you. Assembly line engage. I'm just getting you guys prepped for satisfactory, but yeah, part tolerances and stuff is very, 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 very important. When you hear like people say like, oh, you know, they don't make them like they used to, it's because the parts are made cheaper, and part of making the parts cheaper is to not really check for tolerances as much as you probably would. So it's the tolerance of the parts, because even a part that's off by like 1/1000th of an inch or like a 1/2 mil or something is not going to last as long as if it was machined true to whatever it's designed to be working with. Those parts that take longer, they take longer to make it, you know, precise, and they end up costing you money, but they last like 6 times as long. Hey, Plutonium, 20-month resub. I know about Fowlerton. Yeah, that's not far from me. Fowler's down the street, dude. Like, really close. Yep. I'm a blacksmith. I don't do precision. Yeah, quality of the metal, Zonic, has a lot to do with it too. But yeah, hope you enjoyed that video. Anyway, let's get the space news all teed up here. Just getting everything all ready to go. Efficiency, cost, reliability. Choose one. I'll take cost and reliability. Thank you very much. Okay. Hey, Neb, what's going on? Just in time. All right, so I got a ping from Alex there about some European space news. We'll see what that's about. That one's gonna need to be up there. Okay, we'll get the NASA Spaceflight Starship video teed up. There is three videos, I think. Oh yeah, looks like we got 3. Anyway. Nearly 40-year-old dial indicator. Oh, that's nice. Very good. You're right, man. You're right, man. When you see the first stage of a Falcon 9 rocket, it's unbelievable. The first stage is huge. Way bigger than you think it is. I don't know if you saw what I put in general. Yeah. Ha! You saw 1019. There you go. She's big, isn't it? You don't realize how big that thing is until you stand next to it and you're like, okay. Yeah, about that. Yep. Have you seen that they are hanging big balls on the chopsticks to weight test it? Yes. Yes, I have. Did you see the potentially leaked bokeh render? I have the balls. Yes, we have those. Oh, that's neat. If it's potentially leaked, Lunprod, I don't want to show it on stream, so I'm not going to show it. But yeah, what's the point of the Tron lights? It looks awesome. Interesting, Thomas, yeah. The tweet was deleted. Oops. Some new pretty pictures posted on the NASA archive. Whoa. Damn. You see Core Stage 4 hardware? No, I haven't. I will add that to the queue. I'm just compiling links right now. You guys keep giving me links. You guys just keep giving me links. I'm just going to keep putting them in here. I think he got in some trouble considering he apparently posted a video of him installing tiles. Yeah, I don't know, Thomas. I don't think he'd do that unless he had permission. All right. So, let's start off here. Let's see what we got. Call for applications. Kinesis is launching a first call for applications in order to widely publicize its intention to host micro mini launchers at the Guyana Space Center on the Dimet Launch Complex. Oh. Interesting. It looks like they're gonna... the European Space Agency is trying to open up some of the Kourou to private customers, which is pretty sweet. That's cool. Dimet Launchpad. Dimet Launcher. The Dimet Launcher is French for diamond. Was the first exclusively French expendable launch system, and at the time the first satellite launcher not built by the US or the USSR. As such, it has been referred to as being a key predecessor for all subsequent European launch projects. Oh. Neat. This looks abandoned. Well, I think this was retired in 1975, so yeah, it's been abandoned for a little while. Does the first stage run on turpentine and nitric acid? Wow. Okay. We will get crap faced off of these. Nice. Not space news, but new engines with sound. Yeah, I bet you it sounds really good. Hey, Element, how are you? Fueled exclusively by mason jars. Second stage is solid. Third stage is solid. Huh. The jungle will reclaim it. Well, that's pretty cool. Here, let's see. Let's go down here and see if we can see it. Hey, Salkovsky, what's going on? Well, it looks like they're opening up old pads, that's a good thing. We want that. I think, which one is Guru? I don't know. The complex was demolished for hops of the Themis vehicle, which will perform hops like F9R, Dev did in McGregor. Hops to begin in Karuna before moving to the Diamond launch pad at Karoo. Interesting. The launch pads are down here. Test stands are over here. Launch pads are on this side. There's Ariane 6's launch complex. They finally updated these damn pictures. Cool. That's Ariane 5. That's where James Webb launched from, right there. Yep. Cool. Turn off the roads thing so we can see a little better. Where's that diamond launch pad? Is that? I'm not sure if that's it or what. Here, let me see if we can. Oh yeah, that's it. Yep, that's it right there. I arrived at the perfect time. Bonjour, monsieur. Très bon voir. I think that was right. Alex, you tell me if that was right. I'm quoting GoldenEye for what it's worth. Pretty right, yeah. Good enough. That's cool, man. Good. Opening up the pads for commercial is actually pretty neat. Bit different word order. Omelette du fromage. France also still has New Caledonia as part of the EU, which is even... France also still has New Caledonia as part of the EU. It's even crazier. Neat. All right, well, there you go. That's pretty cool. The next bit here is... this is a bit of Core Stage 4, which is the Artemis 4 core stage parts that are being manufactured right now, which is actually pretty cool. I mean, it's nowhere near finished, but we still have hardware for the 4th Artemis mission. So NASA's slowly but surely ramping up to get these Artemis missions ready to go, which is pretty cool. That's the first I've seen of hardware for Core Stage 4, which is not bad. They still need a block buy over there, but yeah. I'm still waiting for Bill to pull the trigger on a block buy. Eyster. Yeah. 1 and 3 is confirmed. Yeah, but now we have parts for 4, which is actually pretty cool. That's pretty neat. They've pretty much done they block bought the boosters, and they block bought Orion upper stages. Now we just need the core stage. That's really what we're waiting for. Are they making block 1B? I think so. How much money do you think they should put down for a block buy? $10 billion over 10 years should be fine. 10 billion over 10 years should be fine with at least with production capability for at least 2 a year. That would be good. Yeah. You stir what? Soup. Yeah, that would be fine. For all the support, all the equipment, all the engine procurement and everything, yeah, that would be good. And all the operations. 10 billion over 10 years is not bad. That's really good, actually. I mean, keep in mind, that's 10 billion for basically 20 launches. It's pretty good. And I think that's fair. I think that's pretty much what it'll end up being, something like that. They will work together, Bandit. That's the plan. If it put down 40 billion, then really could save 30 billion later. The program still gets done. I don't know. More details on the I-stir friction stir welding process. Oh, that's cool. Neat. Artemis 4 should be a Block 1B. Yeah, I forget off the top of my head, Ian, what was Block 1B, what's supposed to be Block 1B and what's supposed to be Block 2. I think Block 2 by Artemis 9 is the plan tentatively that NASA has, which is, it's pretty good. Should have just started with Block 1B, but whatever. Oh no, there's more space news. What's that? There's a dust storm kicking up around NASA InSight, making it harder to generate solar power. The InSight rover is in stable condition, but holding off on science work. For now, I'm hunkered down in safe mode, but hopefully the skies will be clearer next week. InSight is NASA's drilling and seismic research probe on Mars. Cool. Block 1 ends at Artemis 3 currently. It's not going to get canceled, Sinern, but yeah, SLS ain't going anywhere, guys. There's no way. That's not happening. InSight is just unlucky with the dust. Yep. InSight is also reaching end of life. Yep. Considering all the tech on the core stage, I really want them to make the core stage at least reusable. That would basically mean you have to make another space shuttle. I don't think they're doing that. InSight isn't that old. It's been there since 2018, dude. It's been there for 4 years. What are you talking about? I already have that news, Limprod. Yep. So, next bit of news here is coming from ULA here. Another launch this year is underway at ULA with the attachment of the USSF-8, or just Space Force 8 national security payload atop of an Atlas 511. Ooh, big slider. Cool. The encapsulated Space Force satellites, okay, multiple. Satellites arrived at the vertical integration facility on Monday. Sorry, I had a little bit of a hangnail there. I'm not even kidding. Just bit it right the frick off. I don't care. All right. Only 511 to fly, so don't miss it. Yep. There's the payload moving to the VIF right here. Yep, on the little ULA trolley thingamajigger. It's a SBMT. That's just a highly modified SBMT. You can see the rockets right there. Yeah, they are, Tessa. That's why I was just gonna get rid of that right away. You can see the core stage right there with one SRM attachment. It's just one. And then it has the Centaur that's designed for the 5-meter fairing. It's big slider. Big slider. Yep. One SRB. 511. Only time you're ever going to see it fly, apparently. Hello there, fellow astrophotographer joining the stream. Right on, Astrolux. Cool. Welcome. I'm not that much of astrophotographer, to be honest with you. But, yeah, that is awesome. It is cool. I really... Here, we like the hardware. We like the stuff that puts the stuff in space, you know? But yeah, awesome. Good to have you on board. Yep, there's a picture of Slick 41 in the background there. Still has that crew access tower, just waiting to get used. Soon, though. Cool, another cool thing to check out here is that you have additional fueling paraphernalia over here. Particularly this tank right there. That is a LNG tank, or liquid methane tank. That's for Vulcan. Vulcan will have liquid oxygen over here, and the liquid oxygen facilities have been expanded. And then it has liquid methane and liquid hydrogen over here. The liquid hydrogen systems were expanded already, and then they added the liquid methane systems. That's for Vulcan, their next generation rocket, which is actually pretty cool. You can see the systems are there. The system's already configured for either one, which is actually pretty neat because Slick 41 is one of the few launch pads that can launch two completely different architectures of rockets. It can launch Vulcans, and it can launch Atlas Vs, which is actually really cool. I believe the technical term is rocket nerd. Oh, wow, love it. Also love the hardware. Optical hardware. Well, our worlds kind of collided as of late, Astro, with James Webb, huh? That's the expanded Hydrolox facility? Then yeah, if that's the expanded Hydrolox, then methane's over there. They always keep the liquid fuel on one side of the pad and the liquid oxygen, or the oxidizer on the other. A bit loud, but that's one big mother. Alright, I'm going to mute sound. I'm going to mute sound here. Oh, yes. Yes, I've seen this. I liked this video on Twitter specifically so I could show it to you guys if you haven't seen it. So, little bit of plane stuff in between our space news here. You guys might want to just, yeah, just watch right in this area here, okay? I'm not turning it down for what it's worth. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah, boy. Look at that thing. That plane is freaking huge. Look at how it moved the clouds out of the way. Do you see the vortexes that are coming off the end of the wings right there? They're twisting the clouds around. That's cool. It parted the damn clouds. Yeah, right? Right? It's like, oh, what's coming? Yo! Look at, yeah, see that? Oh, she's a beast. That is an Antonov 225, one of one. No other plane exists. That is the biggest airplane in the world right there. And she is big. Yikes. Look at the size of that damn plane. This is the plane that the Soviet Union built to move the Buran orbiters around. So that's what it started life as, the Buran transporter. So anytime you get to see this thing is a pretty big treat. She's a monster. I gotta watch it one more time. Yo, that's amazing. What a big freaking airplane. Holy crap. Is the B-52 bigger? No, not even close. Here. I'll show you. There you go. The 747-8 is not a small plane, and it is way bigger than that. Oh, look, they had a baby. Don't you ever talk to me or my son again, my wife or my son ever again. Don't ever do that. Here's another comparison. This is the comparison that gets thrown around the most. So you have a 747, A380, AN225, the H-4, and then Stratolauncher. Stratolauncher has a bigger wingspan, but it's not as long of a plane. Spruce Goose has a bigger wingspan, but it also isn't as long. The AN225 is the biggest plane. Even though it doesn't have the biggest wingspan, it's still pretty damn long. Yeah, Alex, there you go. You can see the overview of the tanks here. Oh, yeah. Now can we listen to this? Bro, let me do space news. Is it? All right, what is this? Nice. I don't hate that noise. I don't hate that noise at all. Anyway, let's go over here. So these are pictures from Loopy. Loopy's a viewer that watches the stream of another Falcon 9 coming in. This is the Falcon 9 that launched on the other day. This is the Starlink launch that landed on a short fall at Gravitas. This one actually landed correctly. No botched recovery efforts here, I don't think. Thanks, Jim. Yeah, that's a booster. Do they clean it off before reuse? They used to, Urban Crisis, but no. That's what these lines are for. See these scuff lines right there? That they just inspect the welds. All they do is inspect the stir welds on Falcon 9 before it's ready to go. Think of it like a pre-flight check. At least that's, and then they got to reload the T-tab and stuff. But these things use, Falcon 9s use pyrophoric ignition fluid, meaning that you need to reload the igniter fluid into the engines for them to work correctly. So they got to do that, and they come in like cartridges. Think like a much more spacey version of a CO2 cartridge. Note, Octograbber isn't holding the booster, so there is another issue. Yep. Yeah, it's chained to it. Interesting. Hell Hydra, what's that? Seems like the NASA safety panel isn't happy with the way Artemis is managed. Yeah, because if the safety panel had their way, nobody would launch because that's the safest thing. There's no top-level Artemis program and therefore no Artemis program manager to provide comprehensive and aligned integrated guidance that directs the resources of all the Artemis program and projects in a cohesive manner to manage the overall risk. Dang it, I miss plane things. Is it like spraying ether into a diesel engine? Same idea, not same operating principle, but yeah. Also reveals that why they were out for so long. Close up from the fleet cam. Yeah. Yeah, they just chained it. They chained it down. Interesting. They just aren't happy that Artemis 3 is a separate program instead of a single one. Artemis is 3 separate programs instead of a single one. Exploration ground systems, exploration systems development, human exploration operations, right? Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I didn't think that splitting it up splitting up human explorations operations was the wisest of decisions, but I didn't have a problem with it when it happened. EGS, SLS, and Orion. Yeah, there is. He's called the NASA administrator, yeah. So before the past 20 or more, Falcon 9s have landed just fine. The last one had a problem was because of the rust season and most insecure on a flat deck. I'm not worried. Are you worried, Synard? Tan, that was my problem. I didn't think that splitting them up was a wise idea. But I do... That's the thing. I didn't think that splitting them up was a wise idea. What I did think was a good idea is reactivating NASA's systems development. So, basically having a NASA division having an explicit division in NASA to develop the vehicle. That's how they had it during the shuttle program and subsequently like during Apollo, etc., etc. They had the engineers that were designed to build the rocket, and then they had a set of engineers and scientists and astronauts and stuff to fly the rocket, and that was all under the Human Exploration Operations Mission Directorate. That's the right way to do things. What they did was they split HEOMD into exploration systems development and human exploration operations, and there's no overarching thing there. So, I mean, it remains to be seen if that's going to be a good or a bad thing. I don't know. I didn't think it was a good thing at the time. And then Eric Berger said it was a bad thing, so I immediately assumed that it was probably good for the program. Yeah, and then I went, it's true, just telling you the truth. So then I immediately started looking into it. And it's not, that's the way it was during Constellation and stuff. So that's not a bad way to do things. That will, unfortunately, delay things. It will delay things because they're shuffling stuff around. You don't start the program and then stop and then shuffle things around and then restart it again. If you do that, the price is going to go up. And it's going to take longer, but hopefully down the road you have a more robust program. That's the idea. That's what Bill is trying to do. No Roscosmos on Gateway in the ASAP report. Yeah. Annoying. Yes, gas bill. All right. Okay. It looks like Bob, this is coming from Gav here. Bob has departed Port Canaveral for Transporter 3 fairing recovery operations. The booster for Transporter 3 is a return to launch site, so it's an LZ-1 landing, which is cool. When's Transporter 3 scheduled to go off? I think that's... Yeah, it's on Thursday. Uh-oh. Maybe. Thursday morning. Sweet. During the day. Excellent. Good for the European viewers. Hey, I'll be there for that. Reported to use booster 1058, which will fly its 10th mission. Great. Cool. Yesterday, Space Twitter pointed out... Okay, what's that? So yesterday, Space Twitter reported out that Artemis 2 is only using some new electronics. The rest will be from Artemis 1, which makes no sense. Why? What do you mean it makes no sense? Of course that makes sense. Why wouldn't it? You qualify components and you reuse them. I mean, Hellfish, I understand what you're saying, but that isn't how waterfall testing works. The SpaceX approach would be to just build another one. Build another one, and build another one, and build another one. But the way NASA's doing it is they're going to qualify components once at a time. So the Orion capsule that's on Artemis 1 has a bunch of electronics on it and avionics on it. What it doesn't have is life support systems. It's not one all-up test. So what they're going to do is when Artemis 1 comes back, they're going to take the components out of that. They're going to gut that capsule, take all the components that worked correctly or didn't, fix the ones that worked, and then put them in the Artemis 2 capsule. And that Artemis 2 capsule will fly with people on it with qualified components that we know work. It's not a bad way to do things. It's just not SpaceX's way of doing things. But I mean, I understand waterfall testing. I appreciate it. No, I don't think they should change much with the SLS program. Yes, it is expensive, but I mean, NASA has to be transparent about all their costs. Commercial companies don't. This isn't rocket science. It's more economics than anything. Do I want to see an assembly line of Orion capsules? Yeah, duh. I'd want to see Orion capsules coming off the assembly line as much as I see starships coming off the assembly line. And maybe we'll get there sometime in the future. But, yeah, for now, that's the right way to do it. Ah, the Navy way. Yep. Mixing and matching takes longer and costs more. Yeah, no doubt, but it's safer. Hey, Paul, what's going on? This isn't rocket economics. Wait, yes, it is. Yeah, no, Hellfish, I know what you mean. I really want NASA to go agile with stuff again. That would be really nice, like what they did during Apollo and like what they started to do during the shuttle program, but then, you know, after Challenger, they got politically neutered after that, which is annoying, but yeah, it would be nice to see them go back to doing that. But honestly, that would require such a retool of the SLS program from the ground up. You wouldn't see another launch for another 10 years. Straight up. Even with flight hardware on the table, on the launch table, that is. Boom. That's not a good idea. Just let it roll the way it is, dude. Trust me. Just let it roll the way it's going. Core avionics on Orion 2 will be new, originally built for Artemis 3. However, non-core flight computers will be reused from the Artemis 1 Orion. So, okay. I know you want them to, but do you think NASA will realistically pursue developing new launchers post-SLS? They'll keep upgrading SLS for the time being, Pigzig. I firmly believe that NASA at some point is going to either A, have to pay somebody to put an Orion capsule into low Earth orbit, or B, develop an SLS-derived launch vehicle. Something like Ares 1. They need something like Ares 1. If we're serious about going to Mars, that has to happen. Either that or they have to pay somebody to launch an Orion capsule into space. You could put one on top of Falcon 9, that'd be fine. Put one on top of or Vulcan or something. They just have to be able to get an Orion capsule into low Earth orbit. Why? Well, why? SLS can launch into low Earth orbit. Yeah, of course it can. But if you're going, so NASA's tentative plans down the road for what's a program that's kind of not really mainstream right now. This program is called Moon to Mars. The idea is that you're using Artemis tech. It's Artemis applications. You're using Artemis technologies to figure out a way to get people to Mars. Initially on a flyby and then maybe landing sometime. So, eventually, NASA's plans for Moon to Mars call for building transfer vehicles in low Earth orbit. Now, if you're going to do that, SLS makes more sense launching not with people on it, so you can maximize payload capacity to low Earth orbit. So, and then you build a transfer vehicle up there, but you're going to need an Orion on there somewhere. You're going to need Orion on there somewhere to attach stuff to, or a Starship or something. You're eventually going to have an Orion capsule if Orion's going to act as an interstellar or interplanetary lifeboat for the ship in case something goes wrong. You're going to have to find a way to get a singular Orion into low Earth orbit by itself. You need something like Ares 1. Now, don't get me wrong, Ares 1 probably isn't ever happening. And we're probably not seeing anything like it anytime soon. But maybe, I don't know, stranger things have happened. But NASA's eventually going to need something to get Orion into low Earth orbit. So are they going to make another vehicle? Don't know. My guess is that they'd probably pay somebody to do it, but who knows? Oh yeah, these space station pictures. I have those teed up, the ones that you linked before, but here's a better one. Look at these. Station is pictured from the SpaceX Crew Dragon Endeavour during the fly around from November of 2020. Whoa. All right. Could Vulcan do it? In its heaviest configuration, I don't see why not. Yeah, Pigzig, I'm with you on that one. Oh, hey. Hello. Look, Nauka. Nauka's docked. Oh, that's cool. Oh. Look at these pictures, man. We should build another one. Try to guess the location? I mean, we're looking at it upside down. It appears to be some kind of city. That's not an American city. I know that's not an American city. Give me a second. I'm not looking at chat on purpose. What matches that coastline? Oh, it's Egypt. That's Cairo. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure that's Cairo. Because look, the river delta's over there. Or the Nile River Valley's over there. I think. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and say hard yes. Yeah. Yeah, the coastline is an exact match. There you go. Sweet. Still got it. Still got it. Moscow and its waterfront. Wait, what? Hey, Cammy. Hope to see you're doing well. Yep, yep. Okay, let's play more Space GeoGuessr. Oh, dear. Yeah, what are all these little guys down here? Yeah. Jeez, I wonder how old these cities are. Just an airport. Whatever. Man, that's a big one. That's a big city. You're right in the source of the answer if you want it. Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, she's a beast. Pyramids should be up here somewhere. I can never find them, dudes. Most GeoGuessr locations like stick in my head, or like geographic locations stick in my head like easily, but is that it right there? Nope. I'm trying to find the pyramids. Where are they at? Don't tell me. Don't tell me. I'll get it. Nope. Oh, yep. Right there. Derp. Yeah, there they are. Interesting. And isn't the Sphinx... Where's the Sphinx? I don't know. I think it's... Maybe it's in front of it? Do we have street view? We do. Hello. Cool. Anyway. Neato. Can we see you play a round of GeoGuessr? Maybe. Maybe. Hey, Jazos, what's going on? Alright. So we got another article here. What's this article? This is coming from NASA. Oh, I love GeoGuessr. I'll think about it. NASA prepares SLS moon rockets for first crewed missions. As teams continue to prepare NASA's Space Launch System rockets for its debut flight with the launch of Artemis 1, NASA and its partners across the country have made great progress building the rocket for Artemis 2, first crew Artemis mission. The team is also manufacturing and testing major parts for Artemis 3, 4, and 5. Space Launch System is not just building one rocket, but manufacturing several rockets for exploration missions and future SLS flights beyond the initial Artemis launch. That's John Honeycutt talking. The Artemis 1 mission is the first in a series of increasingly complicated missions that will extend our presence out to the moon. The SLS rocket's unprecedented power and capabilities send missions further and faster through the solar system. Geo, guess where this is from. That's Brasilia. That's Brasilia, Forge. Capital of Brazil. in the province of Goiás, if I'm remembering right. That was an easy one, dude. There's a space launch site's GeoGuessr. Oh, that'd be too easy. With its 2 solid rocket boosters and 4 Rs-25 engine, SLS produces more than 8.8 million pounds of thrust. Oh, 8.8 million pounds of thrust. That's like 35,000 kilonewtons. Somewhere in that ballpark. To launch each Artemis mission beyond Earth's orbit and onward to the moon. The rocket features some of the largest, most advanced, and most reliable hardware elements ever built for space exploration. That's correct. To power the agency's next-generation deep space missions, SLS delivers propulsion in phases. At liftoff, the core stage will... Okay, we know that it has the boosters in it. Okay. The first piece of rocket hardware, the ICPS for Artemis II, arrived in Florida on July 28, 2021. It is undergoing final preparations at Boeing and ULA's facilities and will soon be delivered nearby to Kennedy Space Center. The ICPS fires its RL-10 engine provided by Aerojet Rocketdyne to send the Orion spacecraft towards the moon. ULA is already building the Artemis III ICPS in its facility in Decatur. Ariane 6 core is underway. Ooh. As they're delivering the goods today, boy. Delivering the goods today. We will pencil in this news before we get to the Starship coverage, my friends. We'll pencil it in. Oh, pencil it. Emphasis on pen. What? Proper cricket. No, I'll put that in. Let's see. The Space Launch System is a highly capable launch vehicle, purposely designed and rigorously tested to safely transport... Okay, that's just filler. Yep. I'm skimming this. Give me 1 second. Every NASA center and more than 1,000 companies across America help build the Artemis I SLS rocket, as well as the SLS rockets that will launch in future missions. The boosters and Rs-25 engines, the main propulsion elements of the rocket for the Artemis II and Artemis III missions, are in the final stages of assembly. In Utah, the crews with Northrop Grumman, a lead contractor for the boosters, have completed casting on all the booster motor segments for Artemis II and Artemis III, and began casting segments for Artemis IV. Filler's like, hey, what's up? The 5-segment solid rocket booster is the largest and most powerful booster ever built for spaceflight. Aerojet Rocketdyne, the Rs-25 lead contractor, is readying the Rs-25 engine for the next 3 SLS flights after Artemis I. The engines have been tested and will be integrated with the respective core stages closer to final assembly. The engines for Artemis II are ready to go at NASA's Michoud Assembly Facility in Nowlands, where they'll be integrated with the SLS core stage. The Artemis III engines are being prepared for flight at Aerojet Rocketdyne's facility at Stennis. And the company's already manufacturing engines for missions beyond Artemis IV. Each core stage is produced by Boeing at Michoud. The factory's 2.2 million square foot of manufacturing space and its cutting-edge manufacturing equipment allow teams to build multiple rocket stages at once. Sorry. Yeah, that's okay. They have to say this. It's a public affairs press release. Okay, I did that GeoGuessr and I did terrible. No, it was built to be a big kayak, Synerd. It was built to the AJ260 was built to be a giant boat. A submarine. Currently, NASA and Boeing, the lead contractor for the SLS core stage, are building core stages for Artemis 2, 3, and 4 at Michoud. We showed some pictures of it earlier. In addition to the core stage manufacturing at Michoud, In addition to the core stage, manufacturing at Michoud is stated on test article. Oh, I didn't sentence right because I read the end of the sentence before I finished talking and I got really excited. Sorry. In addition to the core stage, manufacturing at Michoud has started on test articles for the exploration upper stage that will power the Block 1B configuration of the rocket, starting with the Artemis 4 mission. Can you read? You don't know how to read good. I might need to go to a school. I got just the school in mind. I always said that I wanted to go back to school. Here's where we need to. Here's where we need to go. Right here. The Derek Zoolander Center for Kids Who Can't Read Good and who want to learn to do other stuff good too. I have a vision. It needs to be at least 3 times as big. Sponsored by Total? No, Alex. No, it's not right. What is this? A center for ants? You know, that wasn't funny when that movie came out. That wasn't funny at all. Like, nobody thought that was funny. But it's gotten funny over time, which is strange. Sealass, please fast. No, I don't want to. I don't want to. Da. Yes. Yeah. Что? The whole movie makes me hate life. Okay. All right. Back to prove to Dad that I'm not a fool. All right. New tooling has been installed at Michoud to build the exploration upper stage at the same time core stages are produced. The EUS will send 83,000 pounds to the moon. Okay. I know what 83,000 pounds is, but I know there's some viewers in chat that have no idea what the hell that means. 38,000 kilos. Yeah, so about 38 metric tons. That's pretty good. Which is 40% more payload to orbit than the ICPS used on the early Artemis missions, and 70% more than any existing rocket. Yeah. Comparing SLS to any existing rocket right now would be like comparing a school bus to a smart car and being like, well, the school bus can carry more people. Yeah, I know. Is it the LEO or the lunar surface? I'd assume that 38,000 kilos is TLI, so translunar injection, which is a little bit on the inadequate side, in my personal opinion, but NASA seems to think it's okay, so I'm going to roll with it. Low lunar orbit? Low lunar orbit doesn't exist in NASA's vocabulary anymore, Ando. Am I right or am I right? No. It's not. That's not how their architecture is working. SLS is specifically designed to deliver pieces to the gateway and a lander to the gateway. And then the lander can, because they sent it in pieces, well, they didn't send it in pieces. There's another guy, the White Claw meme lord, is going to send the lander. But it's designed to send gateway modules and Orion out to the moon. Do they count the Saturn as existing? Clearly not, because the Saturn V can do more to TLI than this thing. Crews from Teledyne Brown Engineering in Huntsville and Marshall are manufacturing the cone-shaped launch vehicle stage adapters and Orion stage adapters for Artemis II and Artemis III. These adapters serve as vital connection points for the core stage and the ICPS in Orion. For missions beyond Artemis III, the Universal Stage Adapter will connect the EUS to the Orion spacecraft and act as a payload storage compartment, accommodating large payloads such as logistics modules or other space exploration craft. Engineering at Rugg Space USA completed panels for a Universal Stage Adapter test article and delivered the panels to Dynetics in Huntsville, Alabama. That's Dynetics, not Dianetics. That's something different. The lead contractor for the adapter that is assembling the test article in preparation for tests in 2022. Sweet. That's in the Delta Operations Building. Bay number 2, to be precise. I know exactly where this is. I've walked right there. Couldn't take any pictures, though. Sorry, guys. There's some stuff in the ASAP report about Starliner. Okay, what's Thomas saying, Ian? Oh boy, this looks like fun. Big oof time. Oof, 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 oof. Bruh. Alright. Alright. Let's go. Are we ready? I got hat hair. That means we're ready. I need a haircut, man. According to the 2021 Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel report, both NASA and Boeing knew about the OFT-2 Starliner stuck valve problem prior to passing both the flight readiness review and the launch readiness review. You have hat baldness. It's not that bad. Oh, come on, man. It's not so bad. The Blue Book honor is what? 80, 90? So we take 80 from 200 and we make a deal. We take 80 from 200 and we make a deal. That's all right. Predominant, I'm so tall, nobody sees that anyway. It's not a problem. One comb over. So much for NASA learning the lesson about being lenient after OFT1. Well, Ian, it's... Dude, let's not fall for it, okay? Don't fall for it. Anytime you see something that appears really stupid, usually means there's a really good explanation for it that we didn't understand. I'm not falling for this. I'm not falling for it. There's a very good reason why they let it slide. Let's read. Let's figure out what Thomas was linking here. Stop being mean to his hair. A mullet can fix that. A mullet can fix that. If I ever meet you in real life, you'll laugh at how short I am. Yeah? But aren't you Scottish? Scottish people are short. It's fine. Yeah, so, you gotta see, it's because they don't get a lot of oxygen up there in those hills in the Highlands, mate. They don't get a lot of oxygen up there. It tends to produce a little shorter individual. It tends to be a little bit of a shorter person, a shorter lad, and shorter lasses up there because they're up in the hills. It's like if you have the trees up near the top of the hill, they're shorter. They're shorter. Short people have more torque. Elaborate. No. No, I'm good. I don't think a lot of people realize how tall I am. I don't think they realize it. They're not going. Right. All right, let's go read. Rocket Lab tweet, which I have teed up on the other monitor. If you just let me finish reading this. Orbital Flight Test 1 in December of 2019. By late 2021, all JERT recommendations had been implemented. Joint Independent Review Team. Improvements included changes to the software certification strategy, and in July of 2021, a flight readiness review for a second uncrewed test flight, OFT-2, was conducted just days before the scheduled launch of OFT-2. Propulsion system issues with Starliner, specifically the troubleshooting that was necessary when several propulsion systems valves were determined to have been in the wrong position, caused an indefinite delay. The panel's concern is that during the OFT-2 flight readiness review, NASA and Boeing differed in how they characterized the risk that was brought to light by the stuck propellant valves. Boeing's risk posture, communicated as low, was related to its contractual requirements, while the NASA team elevated the risk communicated as moderate. In a broader mission context, while the ultimate decision was to troubleshoot the stuck valves, the flight readiness review revealed NASA and Boeing do not share a common understanding of how to assess and characterize risk. Equally disturbing was that the program got very close to launching the spacecraft before the stuck valve issue was identified. This is exactly the type of situation that the panel urges NASA to aggressively avoid as the agency proceeds with assigning Artemis contracts. Yeah, Jim. It's like we're at the front and back of the cattle herd. Absolutely. That glorious mane of yours is unmistakable. Now, me, Jim, I can't do that. I can't do that. The closest I got was the mullet. I can't do that, man. Can't do it. Never happened. It never happened. So, all right. Guys, we know that it's entirely possible that the environmental conditions from when they moved the OFT-2 capsule to the pad could have caused that stuck valve issue. Boeing talked about this in their post-FFR press conference. So it's kind of funny here how it's like, equally disturbing was that the program got very close to launching the spacecraft before a stuck valve issue was identified. Yeah, because them moving the capsule into the position to launch it may have caused the issue. I mean, Boeing didn't rule out that the environment OFT-2, when it was on the pad, got hit by a monsoon, like a really hard tropical storm. Spacecraft are not designed to operate in the jungle, at least not for very long. So you have a brand new spacecraft, right? You have a brand new spacecraft, brand new service module, brand new software for said spacecraft, and it gets hit by basically a tropical storm. I've heard stories about that when that thing was rolled out to the pad. The next day, a freak lightning storm, like a freak Florida thunderstorms, which do just pop up out of nowhere. That does happen. Came out of nowhere and hit the capsule. And then they started having sticky valve issues after that. Now, correlation isn't causation, right? Like, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what's going on. Boeing did say in the press interview that and it's funny because they hinted that this could be a problem, and then all the journalists took that as, why does the capsule leak water? Seriously, the press conference was frigging cringe. We had spaceflight journalists asking Boeing, does your capsule leak water? Why would it leak water into the fuel systems? And Boeing was like, we don't know if it does. We got to figure that out. It may have. We're not ruling it out, but we don't know for sure. And because we don't know for sure, we're not going to do this. Well, does the capsule leak or not? It's like, okay. Well, the capsule leaks water, I thought. That's what you just said. You said that the thing turned into a freaking sieve. It's like, no, that's not what was going on. Brother, the FRR was done before the capsule rolled to the pad. Yeah, I know. And if what happened with the sticky valves, wait, did that say it happened before the FRR? Panel's concern is that during the FRR, NASA and Boeing differed in how they characterize risk. Okay. So this excerpt is specifically talking about two different things. It's talking about how NASA and Boeing differentially characterize risk, which is a safety concern. Yeah, I would be careful about that. And then two, they talk about, at the very end, equally disturbing was that the program got very close to launching the spacecraft before the stuck valve issue was identified. So what if that stuck valve issue happened when it rolled to the pad? you wouldn't have identified it before it rolled to the pad because rolling it to the pad made the issue. Am I thinking about this incorrectly? The risk characterization is about the valves issue? Let me see. When several propulsion system valves were determined to have been in the wrong position, caused an indefinite delay. Interesting. Okay. But earlier in the paragraph, they said that they knew about the chance the valves getting stuck at the flight readiness review. Okay, so, all right, that sounds right. So, guys, okay. Here's what I'm trying to prevent. One, I'm trying to get you guys to use your noodles. Two, dude, this doesn't work this way. There's not somebody at Boeing that's just saying, oh, screw it, put it to the pad, launch it, launch it, launch it, launch it. That's not what it doesn't work like that. I'm sorry, it just doesn't work like that. As much as you want this to be some soap opera space program nonsense that's peddled by everybody on Twitter, that's not how this stuff works, guys. It's way more complicated than that. And keep in mind, this is the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel. They always play devil's advocate like this. I mean, they would call a yellow traffic light a freaking safety risk. It's a safety risk because cars could hit each other if they decide to go through the yellow light and instead of stop. That's how they would classify a frigging traffic light. So, look, I'm not saying that, but simultaneously, I'm not saying that the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel isn't needed. It's good oversight. It's good oversight. It's good to have somebody just looking over your shoulder, making sure that you're not doing anything wrong, which is right. But guys, no matter how much anybody tries to spin it, no matter how much anybody tries to say, it's never that simple. There's not some nefarious like corporate fat cat at Boeing going, launch the capsule. I don't care if the valves are stuck. It does not matter. That's not what's going on here. It's never that simple. I'm sorry. Anybody that tries to say that has no idea what they're talking about. And I'm not just trying to run cover for Boeing. Seriously, this capsule should have been ready a couple of years ago. What the hell have you guys been doing this entire time? Seriously, what are you doing? How come it took so long? You seriously miss a software problem on OFT1? You almost lost the capsule. What are you freaking doing? You're Boeing. Get your head out of your ass. Like, it's ridiculous. But, like, I'm not just... Like, in this particular scenario, it's better to find these problems now. Which is why no one can convince me that it was a bad thing that, you know, they tried to move to the pad to see if they could fix that problem. Because they were trying to fix the problem. The other thing to take into account is that every spacecraft has teething problems. Every single one of them. It happens. Every single spacecraft has teething problems. The shuttle did. Dragon did. Starliner will. Orion will have teething problems. Absolutely. Every single one of them. The Apollo service module had some pretty bad teething problems too. So did Soyuz, if I recall correctly. They didn't do an integrated test of all components. That's unacceptable for a company worth billions. Yeah, Valksy, that's really, really easy for you to say in hindsight of that kind of testing not working. And if they didn't do an integrated test and it worked, would you be saying this at all? No, probably not. No, absolutely not. There's no way. There's no way. For all we know, that there could. I mean, the space shuttle was done the space shuttle was not integrated tested, and then they launched it on a test flight. That worked just fine. See what I'm saying? This stuff is always more complicated than you think it is. The issue IMO comes down to the issue that all the simulations in the world can characterize things behaving in ways you didn't predict. There's unknown unknowns, which is why I always say there's teething problems with spacecraft, man. This stuff happens. It happens. It's better to find these problems now. You know, it's better. It sucks, and it you know, but these impatient folks around, you know, there's a bunch of people that are impatient, like, you know, and I said it a second ago, like, what the hell have you guys been doing for 10 years? Commercial Crew was awarded in 2014. That was 8 years ago. What have you been doing this entire time? From 1958, when NASA was founded, to 1968, a 10-year gap, NASA went from having no launch capability to having beyond low Earth orbit capability in 10 years. Now, keep in mind, they had the entire funding of the space program behind them. I don't think Boeing is getting that kind of funding for this capsule, but I mean, that was the reason that was so expensive is because we were trying to figure out how to do it. You know, like, what have you been doing? Why? Like, I would be curious to understand why this is taking so long, and if it, you know, if it's just the way that they're testing kind of worlds, that's just the way it is. That's the way that was chosen by NASA. NASA okayed off this stuff, so. Same thing that happened between NASA and Boeing happened with SpaceX. Yeah, curious. Yeah. The space shuttle was also the most risky crewed flight that ever happened. Not a great example. Oh, I give you a good example and you say it's not a great example. Why your hindsight of engineering is you know, 2020. Good call, man. Actually, that's not how this stuff works. Come on, pull your head out of your tail. Let's go. That's not how this works. The space shuttle. Well, the space shuttle isn't a spacecraft now. Oh, okay. Yeah, screw me, right? Something happened during Crew 1. Yeah, you guys keep linking this. You've linked it 4 times now? Let's see. What do you want? What do you want me to see? Example challenges NASA faces in that regard. The night landing of the SpaceX... regarding the night landing of SpaceX Crew 1, though successful, revealed a concerning dissonance. The panel learned from discussions with Commercial Crew Program Management earlier this year prior to the landing, NASA and SpaceX had deferred in their understanding of the level of risk to be incurred, and that last-minute communications had been necessary to ensure NASA approved the plans for the night landing. NASA had understood prior to the mission that a daytime landing was the lowest risk option. SpaceX understood that a night landing was within design ratings, and furthermore, weather conditions and sea states at night are often better for landing. In this case, the conditions on the night of the landing were optimal, but according to weather forecasts at the time, the daytime sea state conditions would likely have introduced unnecessary hazards. Last-minute communications and decisions made under these circumstances could have resulted in a poor Last-minute communications and decisions made under these circumstances could have resulted in a poor decision due to immense operational pressures. NASA and SpaceX should have a common understanding of relative risk levels and of the lines of communication and authority well before the mission, and certainly before last-minute NASA approval was needed for the landing. See what I mean about the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel? Once again, not saying that it's not needed, but their job is to predict or to try and understand worst case scenarios, guys. That's what they're trying to do. They try to tell you the worst case scenario. It's needed. It's critical oversight for the space program, so nobody launches with their head up their culo. You know what I mean? But yeah, see what I mean? I told you guys this before. The Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel would call a yellow light, a yellow traffic light, a safety risk because there's risk of collision. That's just how they look at things. They always take the worst risk assessment and go from there. That's how it be. As I understand it, They want it all to be planned in advance, but SpaceX took a decision mid-flight and didn't plan it with NASA. Well, that says the opposite. That says they communicated it to NASA, and NASA okayed on it, and they landed it at night, and it was fine. Still, the point that they noted with NASA and Boeing knowing that Starliner has valve issues before rollout is kind of bad. You guys, man, you guys suck at this. Forge, listen, partner. All right. If Boeing had fixed those valve problems on the pad and Starliner flew, would you guys even be saying anything about those sticky valves? Not a freaking chance in hell. No way. No way. You guys have the benefit of hindsight, and so does the safety panel in this particular regard. This is what I mean, dudes. Is it a problem? How about nitrogen tetroxide slugs getting stuck in a backflow valve on a pressurized hypergolic propulsion system? Anybody? No, I didn't just rattle off a bunch of big words to try and sound smart. That's exactly what happened with SpaceX's Dragon capsule. They put it on the test stand after the demo Flight 1 capsule flew, and they had backflow in their pressurization system. Nitrogen tetroxide hit a titanium valve, and guess what? NTO hitting titanium at pressure causes a solid rocket booster. Yeah, nitrogen tetroxide is a great oxidizer, and titanium is a great fuel at high pressure and high heat. Funny story. Capsule blew up on the freaking test stand. This stuff happens. All right? This stuff, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This stuff happens. Would anybody have predicted that failure mode before they figured it out? No. At the end of the day, you can't try to turn your nose up at these guys. Like, that's not the right move, because this stuff is so ridiculously hard. As far as I'm concerned, they found the problem. And I'm still not ruling out that the problem could have happened when they rolled to the pad. It could have exacerbated it or made it worse. Something is clearly wrong with SM2, that service module. Something's very wrong with it. And it could be isolated to that one service module because they decided to replace it with service module 3 and scrap SM2 from what I understand. So it could be isolated to that particular service module. Service module 1, or no, that's service module 3. Service modules 1 and 2 flew correctly. Service Module 1 flew on the abort test, and Service Module 2 flew on the first orbital flight test in 2019. The thruster never had a problem. As far as I'm concerned, guys, regardless of whether Boeing and NASA disagreed on stuff, which you guys are saying, like, oh, it's a bruh moment. It's only a bruh moment because something happened. You guys, if Boeing had fixed those stuck valves, nobody would be saying anything. You know what I mean? Like, the Aerospace Safety Advisory Panel plays this contingency thing. Like, oh, well, we know that this could have gone wrong. Yeah, well, you could equally make the argument that it couldn't have gone wrong. But, you know, we got to be careful not to turn this into a Boeing versus SpaceX thing, fellas. That is bad. That is a bad thing to do. Teething problems happen with spacecraft. It happened with SpaceX. No problem. Now, once again, I'm a little annoyed that Boeing is so far behind. But, hey, this stuff takes time. And guess what? A stuck valve problem will be a small blemish on the long and successful career that Starliner will have. And in 10 years, when the thing's flying routinely into space, no one's going to remember the stupid stuck valve issue. Bio! Did I drop these bits? No, I didn't, but I will take them. Thank you. Just a reminder that this is Boeing's own money now. Why would you roll it out if you know you have some problem? Why not fix it where you can do a whole lot more to fix the problem?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Because they weren't sure how big of a problem it was. That's what I'm trying to tell you. One Kerbal again. When I feel like playing it, Viscous. Yeah. Yeah, passing. Yeah, maybe. Have there been any preliminary studies on the capabilities of a Vulcan Heavy arrangement? Yes, from Tori Bruno. What would Vulcan Heavy be comparable to? Oh, I don't know. Falcon Heavy, maybe? It would be one heck of a rocket. Yeah, Glitterub, I'm trying to explain it, but, yeah, once again, people ain't having it, so I'll just move on to the next news. Here, check this out. The Ariane 6 core stage. Hello. The Ariane 6 core stage and upper stage intended for the combined tests on the launch pad in French Guiana have left the Ariane group site in Le Mureau and Bremen and begin their journey to Europe's spaceport. Oh, hey. Oh, that's pretty cool. Thomas, yeah. Sweet. I'll show that in a moment. Hey. Oh, look at that shipping box. And there's the... Oh. There's the upper stage. I don't hate this. Is that plywood? They taped it off like that on purpose. Is that a Vinci engine? Jawohl. Yeah. Pretty sure. Hey. How you doing? Yeah, that's pretty good. Wow, that came about a lot quicker than we thought it would. Neat. I'm not sure the pad is fully finished yet, but it probably could integrate it. They put a smiley face on it. Yeah, dude, that's on purpose. The happy face, yeah. Still sad Ariane 6 will be too conservative to compete with the likes of SpaceX, but I can't argue with the hardware. It's spot on. Yeah. Oh well. Is what it be. That's nice though. Look at that milled thrust plate. Very nice. Here, while I'm getting the next news teed up, you guys can look at this tweet.
Предварительно отрабатываются оперативных стендовых испытаний блока С ракеты-носителя. В монтажно-испытательном корпусе предварительно отрабатываются операции качания сопел 4 двигателей 11D-122 с помощью специальных пневмогидравлических систем. Стендовых испытаний блока С ракеты-носителя. В монтажно-испытательном корпусе предварительно отрабатываются операции качания сопел 4 двигателей 11D-122 с помощью специальных пневмогидравлических систем. Стендовых испытаний блока...
What? Mission control wall now. I'll have to find a spot for it. Now I need to put that in the background. What, this? This needs to go in the background too? Look to the left. Look to the right. Look up. Look down.
В монтажно-испытательном корпусе предварительно отрабатываются операции качания сопел 4 двигателей 11D-122 с помощью специальных пневмогидравлических систем.
Yep. Stand testing of the thrust gimbal of the engines of 11D-122. The thing says it's the block. What? See? No, it absolutely doesn't. What are you talking about? Ugh. Block C. There you go. Thoughts on an Energia with 8 Zenit boosters and maybe a stretched core stage fuel tanks? Yes. Yes, those are my thoughts. Yes. All right. Well, here. We'll flip over to Starship news now. Oh wait, no, there's one more Rocket Lab tweet. Let's see what they're up to. Whoop. Whoop. Pad B at Launch Complex 1 is almost complete. 2 launch pads equals twice the support for frequent Electron launches for our customers from the world's only private orbital launch site. Full pictures of Pad B coming soon. Look at these happy guys doing work. This is the second launch pad at the Mahi Peninsula in New Zealand for Rocket Lab, which is pretty cool. That is a big wrench. Oh, torque wrench. Nice. Nice. Cellbox, 11-month resub. I don't like this channel. Okay. Yeah, you do. Come on. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. NASA Goddard put out a video about the Roman telescope. Cool. Yeah, you do. Yeah. He only subscribes out of pity. In the words of Mastodon, your money is now our money, and we will spend it on drugs. Yeah. Did you see the Alexa integration into Orion? Sounds so tacky. I don't want to know. Why do you hate me so much? What did I do to you? Last 5 seconds. Well, so I spend my time trying to understand it. Okay.
Построенный новый двигатель достиг запланированного уровня. Творческий поиск специалистов, высокая квалификация рабочих, высокий уровень технологии производства оказались на уровне конструкторских задач. Это позволило наладить ритмичный выпуск двигателей и шаг за шагом решать вопросы повышения качества и надежности при его изготовлении.
That's the RD-0120.
Включается профилактическая продукта гелием.
Single turbo shaft for Hydrolocks. It's pretty impressive. Oh, it looks like it's geared. Cool. These are pre-valves right here, guys. It looks to be fuel-rich stage combustion, if I'm looking at this right. Helium purge in the picture. Yeah, that's the purge out systems. Still cool. On the test stand. Where the hell are you getting this from?
13 марта 1979 года на стенде в Загорске было проведено первое огневое испытание. Первый двигатель проработал 5 секунд на режиме 20% номинальной тяги.
It fired for a certain amount of seconds and then shut off.
Захолаживание. Отработать запуск на режим малой тяги, останов и его послепусковую обработку.
Well, look at the the overexpanded plume. Whoa. 5 seconds on 20% thrust. Yeah. Yeah, look at that thing. Are the RS-25 nozzles going to be the same tech as the 0121s? I remember seeing that. It's not the same tech. The RD-0120 is a similar engine. It's not. They're not interchangeable parts. No, it's not a copy. That's not how that works. The RD-0120s are, they're not, dude, I wouldn't even say that they're comparable to a shuttle engine. The RD-0120s are more comparable to like an RS-68. They're designed to be low cost. An RS-68 is designed to be low cost hydrolox, right? The full video if you want it. I mean, I kind of do, not gonna lie. Let's see. Let's take a look.
Космической системы «Буран» была поручена коллективу орденов Ленина и Октябрьской революции Воронежского конструкторского.
It's similar in nozzle design because it's doing a similar thing.
Задача выявила новые творческие возможности коллектива.
They're not interchangeable by any means, Penta, but they're similar. Yeah. Because they're designed to do a similar purpose, just like a Russian truck and an American truck look similar. You know what I mean? They're designed to do the same thing. They bear some passing resemblance, but they're not the same, right? Like, it's the same idea, but with rocket engines.
Главный конструктор КБ «Химавтоматики» Александр Дмитриевич Конопатов. Наша...
Привет.
140 тысяч лошадиных сил. Это... И все это нужно было саккумулировать в небольшом объеме.
Это хорошо, да.
Освоение производства такого двигателя потребовало мобилизации всех возможностей современной технологии. Об особенностях реализации новой темы рассказывает директор Воронежского механического завода Георгий Васильевич Костин.
Производственниками, рабочими, службами обеспечения.
Камера сгорания. Агрегат двигателя, где сталкиваются сверхнизкие и сверхвысокие температуры, высокие давления и сверхзвуковые скорости раскаленного газа.
Было бы применение пористого металла. Но такого металла пока у нас нету.
Мы располагали хорошим задержкой
горючего,
Oh, look at the turbo pump.
Точные Ротор двух.
You guys saw the the video that I started Space News in about tolerances and how important they are to engines. Imagine what the tolerances are on that thing. Oh.
Горючего.
That's a turbo pump. That's a fluid impeller. That's what it looks like. It looks like a steam turbine.
Работающих в экстремальных условиях. Точная балансировка ротора. Ротор двухвальный.
Yeah, see? Can you imagine the tolerance that these journals need to be at? They're journals just like an engine or a jet engine. This is the fuel side, that's the oxidizer side. And like I said, it's geared. This one is spinning, and that one runs the stage combustion cycle. And then this thing is, if I'm looking at this correctly, there should be a gearbox right here that turns this. Or it could be independent, but it's a very weird way to put your power packs like this, to put them all on one shaft and have them rotating differentially. But simultaneously, at the same time, Hydrolox requires such differential RPM between the oxidizer pump and then the main pump. That's why I'm thinking it's geared, because that's the only reason you'd put this on there. Yeah, I'd have to go find it.
С так называемым гибким валом насоса горючего, подшипники которого установлены в демпферных опорах. Были расширены производственные площади, построены новые двигатели, достиг запланированного уровня. Творческий поиск специалистов, высокая квалификация рабочих, высокий уровень технологии производства оказались на уровне конструкторских задач. Это позволило наладить ритмичный выпуск двигателей и шаг за шагом решать вопросы повышения качества и надежности при его изготовлении.
To this day, I still don't understand turbo pumps. It's a jet engine with a fuel pump attached to the front. That's it. Turbo pump. What's not to understand? Seriously, think a jet engine, right? Or think a turbo shaft, like a helicopter engine. A helicopter engine is a jet engine that's designed to create shaft horsepower like a car motor, right? And a turbo shaft is connected to a transmission, which is connected to the helicopter blades, and it turns the jet engine, turns the helicopter blades, right? So you have jet engine, or gas turbine, gearbox, blades, right? Pretty straightforward stuff. Take the helicopter parts off. Jet engine, shaft horsepower, pump, liquid fuel pump. Literally just a fluid impeller. Like a fuel pump on a car. Same thing. Only bigger and spins way faster. Like how does it get fuel to the chamber and stuff? You have your fuel coming down. It's a radial fluid impeller. Radial fluid impeller is the right way to say it. So you have radial, which is left to right in this diagram, and then you have axial, which is up and down. There are some axial turbo pumps out there. That does happen. So check this out. You have fluid going in, and then it goes out to the side, right? And then it goes in here. That's a low pressure pump, low pressure hydrogen fuel pump. And then here's your combustion staging right here. There's your pre-burner. So it goes up through here, spins this, right? And then you have tap-offs that go to cool the engine. And then they spray some liquid oxygen in here into the pre-burner, and you get a very fuel-rich mixture going into the rocket engine. And that's what comes out the bottom after it's injected again with liquid oxygen. Liquid oxygen down here goes through the low-pressure pump, and then it goes through the high-pressure pump, which is geared off of that shaft. It picks up off of this, like a drive shaft, basically. There's a drive shaft going from the hydrogen high pressure hydrogen turbo pump down to the high pressure oxidizer turbo pump, and that goes around, it goes up, and they inject it in the combustion chamber right there. How do you boot the system? How do you get it started? You got to get your turbo pump spinning. There's many ways to do that. I don't know how this one does it. You could use pyrophoric igniter fluid. So basically shoot igniter fluid in here, and then shoot igniter fluid, triethyl aluminum and triethyl borane in here. They'll combine, and when they combine, they explode, and then they'll spin up the turbo pumps fast enough because when they explode, they expand, and that turns the turbo pumps. And then right after that, you open up your pre-valves, and whoop, there you go. There's plenty of different ways to do it. You could use a spark igniter. You could use a pre-valve to trickle some fuel into the pre-burner. You could use inert gas to spin them up and then shoot the fuel in. There's plenty of different ways to do it, guys. I'm going to go ahead and guess. Yeah, Forge, you already said it. Vasya was telling me that this is a helium purge. So they're probably using helium to start it. Literally spraying a bunch of helium gas in here, spinning the impeller up fast enough, and then letting the fuel go. How close are we to ITAR? Nah, this is nothing new. Guys, I'll say it once, I'll say it again. This is easy to understand. I can explain rocket science to anybody. It's really easy to understand. It's not that big of a deal. Not a hard concept. Doing it is the hard part. That's the hard part. Rockets are very simple in their application. Literally take a lot of this, take a lot of fuel, a lot of oxidizer, put it in this, explode, shoot out the bottom, rinse and repeat. It's not complicated. It's really, really simple. Doing it is the tough part. That's the plumbing diagram for an RD-0120, Energia core stage engine.
Началось на экспериментальной базе научно-исследовательского института химического машиностроения в городе Загорске.
The Zagorski Space Institute of Technology or something like that?
С вынужденными отклонениями от конструкторской документации с укороченным соплом для работы на пониженных режимах. Разработчикам необходимо было убедиться в правильности выбранной пневмогидравлической схемы. 13 марта 1979 года на стенде в Загорске было проведено первое огневое
Penta, right?
испытание.
Yeah, this is the test stand footage we saw a second ago.
Секунд на режиме 20% номинальной тяги.
So they're spraying fuel directly into the butterfly valve. They could. It really depends. It's not a butterfly valve, Jonas, but bright idea. Yeah, sure, S. I guess that's a place to start. I wouldn't start there personally, because that's a newer engine design. You gotta understand how they came to that conclusion that an electric motor would be better. I wouldn't start there. I would start with basic rocket engine design.
В стендовую систему входят газобаллонная станция азота и гелия, а также престории институтов и предприятий многих отраслей страны.
There you go, S.
На предпусковом совещании руководителей служб принимается решение о проведении огневого.
Love how all these guys are wearing suits on the test stand.
Объявляется минутная готовность.
Первые испытания показали, что пневмогидравлическая схема двигателя выбрана правильно и вполне.
Is it just me, or does Russian seem to have an old accent just like English? Coffee Bear, the Russian language was refined a lot, even as little as 100 years ago. They just took letters away and added more. So, yeah, I mean, you'd probably hear a little bit of different accents, but I've often thought about that. Like, we've been playing Hearts of Iron, is how the people talk in Hearts of Iron, like Truman and Roosevelt, and is how they talk that much different than how we talk? No, not really. I can understand perfectly what they're saying. There aren't words that I don't understand, right?
Двигателя достиг 50% номинальной тяги.
That looks good. Yeah, telemetry printouts.
Данных об изменении поведения материалов в среде работающего двигателя не хватало. Стремление разработчиков проверить возможности конструкции заставили их пойти на дальнейшее форсирование режима.
Nice. I wonder where these test stands are. I didn't catch the location. My guess is that they're out in the middle of nowhere, kind of like ours are. Is that what they said came here? Hello. Thought I did Institute of Pripyat at some point. There was no institute in Pripyat, Alex, and I don't think they'd be testing rocket engines near a nuclear reactor. Just, oops, knock that over. Put that down there. Sorry. Yeah, I don't think they'd be testing near the nuke, but Zagosky. There you go. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
Развитие кислородно-водородных двигателей обеспечит создание одноступенчатых многоразовых носителей.
Стендовые испытания показали, что созданный двигатель 11D-122 выполняет основные требования технического задания заказчика.
Nice. Is this from the 80s? Yep. Cool. That's a really neat video. Anyway, that was a quick detour into an Energia video. They were those are the Energia core stage engines, the RD-0120s, which are one of the only Hydrolox engines that the Soviet Union ever designed, which is actually really cool. Anyway, guys, I can't imagine that anybody wouldn't have seen this by now, but we're going to move over into Starship news. Here, check this out. You're going to want to see this. Yeah, there you go, Sebby. If they stream it, yeah, that'd be nice. So over the weekend, SpaceX took the the chopstick arms and moved them all the way up. Note the pad outgassing over there. How high is that? The tower is 500 feet tall, guys. That's at the level required for Starship stacking, indeed. And note that they have a little bar that's connecting the chopsticks together. That's a mass simulator load bar right there, from what I understand, which leads me to the next picture. These are pictures coming from RGV aerial. 500 feet in real units. What is that in real units as a metaphor for I can't do basic math? Here, let me do it for you. 150 meters. What? See, these things are connected to that load bar right there. Very interesting. They're gonna do a load test for the arms. They could have done better. What is this? Oh. Oh, no, that's terrible. That's terrible. Why would you do that? So, I think these are water baskets. They're going to fill them with water. And they're, here, there's a render here. Oh, I don't have the freaking link for who did that render. They're gonna fill these up with water, and they're probably gonna do a load test, lifting this thing around to make sure that it can lift super heavy. They probably want to do it with they want to test loading it first before they test it with super heavy. You don't want to test it with a booster that's gonna fly. What is this anyway? Grandma's socks? Sure. So it's truck nuts for the pad. Yeah. Yeah. The elites don't want you to know this, but the ducks at the park are free. You can take them home. I have 458 ducks. J.R.R. Tolkien. Okay. That's all right. Okay. Where do they get these? Custom made? So this is a picture from Lab Padre's stream. Speculated weight simulation testing of the chopsticks using water bags from MIS Marine and Industrial that were possibly delivered to the launch site earlier today in silver containers on the back of a truck. Oh. Oh, that looks right to me. Just don't know why they have to be that color, but that last. Virgin Orbit has pushed their launch to the 13th to validate their systems further for launch. Okay. No problem. Okay. Alright, so let's go and check out the NSF videos. These videos are brought to you by our buddies over at NASA Spaceflight. Give me permission to look at this stuff here on stream. So the least we can do is reciprocate that favor over there and go and give them a sub. Please do that. So, they keep getting those subs, man. We can keep watching this footage here. So make sure you go over there and do that. Support our buddies in the space industry, okay? I don't... That's nice, Limpun. I'm hearing rumors that everything at Boca, the Boca launch site, they want to put a 39A tower and farm. I just don't see how. Well, you might not see how because they don't have the cranes to do that just yet, Goalie. So I don't see how you don't see how. You telling me they can't build that at Kennedy? They built this out in the middle of nowhere, dude. They can build that at Kennedy just fine. If there are naval engineers, they're that color for maritime safety in case it floats away. Yeah. Yeah, no, I know why they're that color.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
If you catch my drift, Jam. But also, hey, Midge gifted us up to Lanark. Midge-sama. Midge-chan. Kongonwa. Midge-sama. I don't know, Apocalypsis. I can't figure out the farm location. Same place as it is now. But yeah, I don't know, maybe. Is that booster 3? Is that Glock? Sorry. Yeah, I think they did scrap booster 3. I think that's what this is a picture of. Booster 3 is gone. Yeah, I'll check it in a second. We'll see it in the videos, Thomas. I want to see this. Come on. Oh, drone. Drone's just going and looking at some things. I mean, Goalie, maybe they'll expand the blast detonation area. Who knows? Ooh. You know, I've been the one saying that. I've always been the one saying that this is not ready. You know, the pad isn't finished yet, but man. You know, I always say it's not finished, but this is close. It's getting there. That looks pretty right to me. Do you think there will be any booster test hops than catches? I don't know. When that thing sets sail, though, it's going to be amazing. I don't know, no matter what they do. I think they're just going to launch. You might as well, if you're going to pay to launch the booster motor kit, you might as well put something on top of it to flesh out the entire flight profile, right? Like, it's happening. Do you think in time the QDA and the chopstick can be in the same arm? No, the vehicle stabilization system. The VSS is to hold the first stage while they integrate the second stage. I think they're deliberately on two separate systems. The 2F of NASA's second SLS rocket for the crewed Artemis 2 mission to go to the moon are being prepared to be joined in the near future. Nice. Corbin, it moved! Corbin, come on, my man! Come on, my man! It moved! Come on, my man! How would you make the arm move up with the fueling lines anyway? Yeah, I concur. The matches, you have your matches, you have the matches. I mean, Father, you smoke? We all gonna die. Nice, now I have to watch that movie. You're welcome. Oh. I'm done. Mechazilla, his arms wide. Oh, that's so cool. You got your 6-year-old here watching this and he's excited. He doesn't understand what's going on yet, but he likes everything space. The arms moving is very cool. Do you see them testing this via just lifting the booster? Yeah, alleviate. The arms are supposed to be able to put Starship on the pad and also catch the thing. So yes, they will. I think that test is probably happening pretty soon. Why don't we just pick the rocket up and put it over there? Ah! I think I'm beginning to like this. Everyone has talked about the mass tolerance of the chopsticks, but how will they fare in terms of thermals? I assume Super Heavy coming down with 3 Raptors blazing won't be pleasant. They're gonna be out of the way, Alex, when the thing comes down, and when the engines are below it, then they're gonna come in. So I don't think they're gonna be anywhere near the rocket engines. I'm not worried about thermals. We haven't seen them yet, Jars. I'm not 100%. We haven't seen them yet, Jars. I'm not 100% sure what the I'm not 100% sure what the Starship lifting mechanism with those things are. Yeah, but Copybear, we haven't seen the finished version of that. I'm not exactly sure how the heck that thing is going to work. We haven't really figured that one out yet. Super Heavy has these little like nubs sticking out the side that go like this. If where my knuckles are the booster, that's something like this. Starship doesn't have something like that. It has what Thomas has. What Thomas has shown. They're not. It's not the same thing. I'm not sure how Starship is going to get caught. Not 100% on that one. That's correct, Roblox. Yep. Will Elon build a massive piano? That way the chopsticks can play chopsticks. Yeah, like that. Booster 7's LOX tank is lifted. That's Heart and Soul. That's Heart and Soul. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, wait. What's Chopsticks? Dun, 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 dun. Is that it? I don't know, man. Piano. Do I look like I know what a piano is? All I want is a picture of a gosh dang chopsticks. Jow, 43-month resub. Thank you. Does Starbase have on-site power generation or does it pull from the grid? Solar panel. Jam. I'd assume they're pulling some power from the grid, but mostly solar. That is I Love the Mountain? I'm sure it is. I mean, if this was a piano expert stream, I'd be embarrassed right now, but it's not. We analyze space hardware here, so, I mean... Dump truck. They took down that dirt wall, huh? A nil guy? Alright, guy. Is that a Supra? I don't think that's a Supra. I think that's an animal. So, fellas, why are they taking that berm down between them and the landing area? I mean, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that berm that they literally just got finished making, that dirt wall that they're now taking down, is probably for more methane tanks. Just putting it out there. I mean, just putting it out there. I'm pretty dang sure that that's what's going on there. Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're restructuring the tank farm, yes. What say you, Chet? Buck, I didn't know that. That's interesting. These are the guys that are working on the high bay, or the wide bay. Keep in mind, fellas, that what you just saw was not them working on the actual building. That's just a sub-assembly. That's a piece. So you know, like when you're playing with Legos and you're building the Legos out and you build a small piece and then you take the small piece and you connect it to the bigger piece? That's the small piece. Small piece. Actually, Jarvis, are you still here? Look over there. See that thing right there? Whatever that thing is going to have the Starship catching mechanism on it. Whatever that thing is. See it right there? More propane tanks, boy. Yep, that's right. Practical Engineering had a video that touched on why SpaceX had stacked the dirt at Boca Chica. Yeah, that's for the launch. That was for where the HIF and the launch pad were going to go, Jim. I don't think this is the same thing, but I could be wrong. They had a lot of dirt stacked there in 2018. It's where the Starship suborbital testing pads are. I don't think it's pneumatics, King Kid, and I think it's on a screw jack for the catching mechanism. Screw jacks for the actual things that move up and down the arms, and then chopsticks, I think, are hydraulic. No, it's both of them, Mab, yeah. At least that's the last that we heard, so that's probably subject to change. But yeah, it's going to catch Starship as well. It's going to catch Super Heavy, put it back on the pad. Then the arms will turn, and it'll catch Starship, lift Starship back up, put it back on, and then refuel it. No reintegration stuff. No drone ships, no transporters, no HIF, no nothing. The top view on one of the arms. Yeah, let's see. This picture is from RGV Aerial. Yeah, see? They have a screw jack. It's a freaking screw jack. And see these triangular pieces? These triangular pieces can move they can move independently at each other. They can move independently of each other. See how there's a little separator right here and right here? The two triangular pieces can actually move back and forth. This piece can move all the way over to here. This piece can move all the way over to here. You see how there's some extra space right here? That's how they're going to catch this thing. It has those downward facing nubs on the booster, right? And this little sill right here is designed to catch those downward facing nubbins. And then when they have the thing caught, this thing will move forward. This triangle piece will move forward and this one will move back. The thing is, I see it, and it actually makes a lot of sense. That's the runway, so to speak. See this length right here? That's the runway. That tells me that when Super Heavy comes down, it's going to have a horizontal velocity component. And if the chopsticks are like this, the chopsticks are going to be like this. The booster's going to get into position, and when it's in position, the chopsticks are going to close, and it's going to land on it. It's like a runway. That's the runway right there, which is actually really crazy. I'm wondering about the shock loads, guys. I think they can catch a booster, but the thing is, when you catch the booster when a booster is hovering and it has its rocket engines firing, right? And you put these into position and it throttles down the rocket engines, right? And the pieces catch the sills, right? And then you shut the rocket engine off, you're going from compression load to tension load very quickly. So the rocket engines are pushing up on the booster, right? And now that the rocket engines shut off, now the rocket engines are pulling the booster. And instead of compressing it, they're stretching it. Going from compression, that's going from compression to tension. That's what I'm kind of wondering. I think they can catch it, but I'm wondering what's going to happen to Super Heavy when it goes from an accordion force to a stretching force real fast. I mean, Falcon 9 doesn't seem to have any problems with it, but we ain't hanging Falcon 9 from the top now, are we? Yeah, Thomas. Mm-hmm. You don't think the booster ship will hover outside the reach of the chopsticks before translating sideways? Well, they'll come down like this, diagonally. Can you use the natural momentum of the booster going sideways to keep it stable? That'll keep it nice and stable if it comes in sideways like this, instead of just coming straight down. Coming straight down is not stable. You're more likely to have translating forces there. This, you negate translating forces and you use the momentum of the booster to keep it stable going in one direction. Like a plumb almost. Like a plumb bob uses gravity. Stays going in one direction because the acceleration of gravity. Same idea. Falcon 9 hangs from the crane after the barge. Yeah, of course it does, O-Force. I don't understand how that's how that's the same as what I said. I'm talking about your force is going from a high compression load to a high tension load very fast. Does the crane pick up Falcon 9 quickly? See what I'm talking about, man? Yeah, of course. If you slowly increase the tension force, it's not going to break. But if you pull on it real quick, it could snap it in half. The arms will match the vertical velocity of that booster. Won't that help? You got to stop. The arms can only go down so much, Phil, before the rocket nozzles hit the ground, don't you think? It might negate that. I'm just wondering, like, once again, it's something to think about. I think they can catch it with this mechanism that I see here. Yeah, I don't see why that is impossible. It's going to be difficult, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm kind of, can you predict that? Can you do tests to test that kind of dynamic force change very quickly? I don't know. That's not something I think you can test. You can do a simulation, obviously, right? And no doubt SpaceX is. And no doubt, like, they probably have an idea of what this thing's going to do to some extent, right? The Dragon rope test. Yeah, there you go. Could the arms get stress fractures over time? I think they're overbuilt, O-Force. If I had to guess, this mass simulator that they're going to lift with it is probably way heavier than what a Super Heavy is. You'd want to test it. If you're making something to lift up 100 tons, right? Like a permanent fixture like this that's designed to lift up 100 tons, you engineer it to lift up 200 tons. Not exactly 200 tons. The point is that you over-engineer it on purpose. That way you know it's never going to break. But I'm sure SpaceX will be inspecting all this stuff. You know what I mean? I'm sure they will. Truck. See, this thing with all the bungee cords on it, they're not bungee cords, they're Kevlar straps, like on a parachute almost. What this thing is designed to do is designed to simulate compression load. There's hydraulics down here that pull down on these parachute cables, and then that cap that's up at the top with the railings on it, it's gonna come down and it's gonna crush the thing. It's a big can crusher. But you can test dynamic load with that. You can change how much this thing is pulling down with, hence dynamic load. But that's a dynamic compression load. I'm not sure you can test tension with this. I don't think you can. But maybe they have another machine for that I don't know about. Who knows? Yeah, Alex. Ship 21 went back into the mid-bay. Huh. Yeah, Nucleotron. They must have some give in him somewhere. Is he last? I wonder if they're going to do drop tests with the water bags while they're doing mass simulations. Yeah, maybe. Guys, because, yeah, it's like, okay, all right. Physics, load can be described like this. Well, not really load, but, okay, just bear with me. You know how, like, if you're a car guy, you say, like, oh, crashing into something doesn't kill you. It's the sudden deceleration from crashing into something that kills you, right? Like, if you're in a car and you gradually slow down from, like, 50 to 5 miles an hour, with the brakes, it's just going to be a slight force going forward. If you go to a complete stop, it's just, okay, maybe a little push forward force, right? That is a little bit of deceleration over a long period of time. If the car slams into a wall, that's a lot of deceleration very quickly. That hurts. That hurts. The other way doesn't hurt. That hurts. You see what I'm talking about here? That's what I'm talking about with the booster. If the booster's going to need to find a way to slowly slow down, right? You're going to have to slowly ramp that thing down, because if the thing just kind of lands and shuts its engines off, it's going to suddenly decelerate, same like a car hitting a wall, and even though you're hanging it from the top, it could pull the bottom of the booster off. I don't think that's going to happen. I'm wondering how SpaceX is going to mitigate those dynamic loads. That's all. I think they can do it, obviously. Don't get me wrong. I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, they'll never be able to land it because I've played Kerbal Space Program. No. Not that, by any means. I think they can do it. I'm wondering what those dynamic loads would be and how they plan to compensate for it. I'm actually just generally interested. I know they have a solution somewhere. They wouldn't be doing it if they didn't, Off topic, cool write-up on turbo pumps. Sweet. Yep, I will be reading that later. Thanks, Fozzie. Or your organs getting penetrated by the car crumpling. Something like that. Yeah. Yes, I nerd. That sudden deceleration from the rocket engine shutting off is going to produce a tension load. Stretching. It's going to produce stretching, dude. Same thing that a dent puller does. Same thing. Or an English wheel. English wheel does the same thing. Right? If we're talking about stuff in the mechanic shop, move the chopsticks down exactly when the booster shuts off. That could do it, Nucleotron. Maybe. But now you're moving the chopsticks down is shifting the load, the stretch load from the booster to the pad now. Oh! I don't like this. I don't like this at all. I know it's scrap, but I still don't like. Stop this. You stop this now. That's a. Okay. Alright, I've moved immediately from grief from Booster 3 getting scrapped to. That guy has an acetylene torch, a selfie stick acetylene torch. I'm more interested in the acetylene torch now. Stop it! Stop! You stop this! Stop! Oh, God. It's gonna be reused. Relax, let's go. Top 10 anime betrayals. Elon, Booster 3. How thick do you think that metal is? About 4 mil, Cosworth. 4 millimeter. Manual decoupling. There's your tension test. Ah! Game over. SpaceX's new plan to shrink Super Heavy. Jeff Bezos is pissed. Ridiculous. Those videos still get made and people still watch them, Alex. I don't know what to think about that. It'll buff out a little bit of JB Weld. Yeah, just put some Marvel Mystery Oil in it, Frank. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. This is JB Weld. We'll just Zeus it right back together, dude. Who? Come on, Jeffrey, you can do it. Oh, man. Это не хорошо. Нет. Нет. Do not want. To demonstrate the power of selfie stick acetylene torch, I sawed this booster in half. That's a lot of damage. How about a little more? Now that's a lot of damage. Hey, who told you to stop cutting? Who told you to stop cutting? That'd be fun to cut apart? Nah, that would take forever, dude. That would suck. That was me. Who told you to stop cutting? It even works under welders. Does it say you want to play Hard Space Shipbreaker? No, all I can think of is that footage of Buran being ripped apart. It's infuriating. I say that. No, you don't. No, you don't, Phil. Ship 21 went back into the mid-bay, King, which is very strange. They moved it back into the building area, which is, yeah, interesting. So that's the top of Super Heavy. Anytime you see a bulkhead with this thing on it, this collar right there, that's for the Starship separation system. That's where it mounts to. So this is the top of a heavy booster. I would, if I had to guess, it's probably 7. Nah, I haven't heard anything about that, Foz. Ship 22 is also sitting next to 21 with an unknown future. Interesting. Game over. Starship test gone orbital. Pics inside. Hey, Chops, haven't been around me lately and have not seen any KSP. Are you not playing it anymore? I'm taking a break from Kerbal. That's all. I'll play it again when I feel like it. I just figured now's probably a good time to take a break. I'll pick it up, you know, and then KSP 2 will come out and we'll be good to go. Just taking a little bit of a break, that's all. I wanted to try variety streaming. Yeah, no problems. I mean, Kerbal was stressing me out a little bit, and I'm trying to retool some ways to play mission mode that make it a little bit more fun to watch. We almost got it right with Mission Mode 2, but we'll tweak it again and we'll go from there. Don't forget how to KSP. I'm not forgetting how to KSP anytime soon. Don't worry about it. Hey, Linux. So are the NSF guys okay? Uh-oh. Well deserved? Yeah. I don't know when KSP 2 is coming out. Might be sometime soon. We still don't know what that thing is. Enjoying the variety streams? Thanks, Aeronaut. I'm glad you like it. I want to get back into playing Kerbal. I got the itch, but let's finish up what we're doing before we'll finish up what we're doing in Satisfactory. Get Hearts of Iron out of our system. Summer Car, I'll inevitably die and probably just stop playing, and then Cities, the airports expansion is coming out, and when that comes out, that's gonna be yeah, that's gonna require a good deal of my time. So yeah, just mixing it up for a change, dudes. Don't worry, still love space. Kerbal ain't going anywhere. I'm afraid you'll forget how to Satisfactory since you skipped it entirely last week, sad face. I'm afraid you'll forget to remind me about something, Megas. Sad face. There's a Cars expansion coming out for Cities too, apparently. Yeah, car expansion pack, which is pretty cool. Hey, Paper City. You will start a new city then? I don't know. Maybe. Good, that means I might actually be doing my job. Well, if you're not going to forget to remind me about stuff, I'm not going to forget how to play Satisfactory. Checkmate. Got him. Got him good. What's the thing in the top barrel section? I think it's used for alignment, Synerd, but I'm not 100% sure. Still a dynamic simulator. I'm not sure what they're doing with that thing. How does that make sense? Yes. That's a VersaBar. You can tell it's a VersaBar because of the way it is. I'll admit I have no idea what the hell a VersaBar is. I don't know what that is. Maybe a load spreader or something? Whatever it is, it's big. It's a versatile bar. Okay. It's long. Yeah, but Elon says long is wrong, tight is right. Yeah, I mean, it's just a good way to look at it. Yeah, Guayron. There's that load simulator. See how it has the downward facing peg on it? I think that's a yoga move or something. You see that? See that little thing right there? The dowel that's coming out of this thing? Super Heavy has that dowel as well. That's the catch mechanism. I don't understand how all that is going to get put on that one single load point 2 times over, but you know what, man? The SRBs are held up by something about that big. The SRBs hold up the ET and the shuttle with something about that big. The SLS core stage is attached via a pin that's about that big. So now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, actually it makes sense. You actually perfected said yoga pose, the downward facing peg. I'm sure on some planet that's very impressive, but your weak link is, this is Earth. Ha! What weight is the booster when empty? Do we have an estimation yet? Mab, I'm guessing 100 tons. And I'm guessing that like 80% of that is probably rocket motor. Just a thought. By the way, IXP is fully deployed. Excelente. Very good. The infrared X-ray telemetry experiment. Yeah, that's the one with the fidget spinner deployable arm, right, Core? I mean, let's do some quick math. We know that Raptor is about 2,000 kilos, right? There's 33 of them. So that's 66 tons. You think there's 20 tons of stainless steel on this thing? I'd probably say a little bit more than that. Yeah, actually 100 tons actually isn't that hard of a bet. It might actually even be lighter. Yeah, probably, Signer. That's what I would do. I don't call it a safety margin, Signer. It's a reliability margin. Reposted query. After they do a few load tests or even try a few landings, could SpaceX launch suborbital boosters to try and catch them standalone? I don't know if they'll ever do that, Alex, because the amount of time it takes to put the booster on there, you might as well put a Starship on top of it and get full fidelity load simulations. So basically, if you're going to try to launch and land a Super Heavy, you might as well put a Starship on top of it and launch that. They already got the flight profile figured out. There's no way that, I mean, that's the part that they'll probably get right. I don't think anybody here is seriously doubting that SpaceX couldn't get that thing within a couple meters of its landing site, right? Because of all the experience that they have with Falcon 9. So I'm guessing that SpaceX is probably just thinking launch more. You might as well put a Starship on top of it and launch it. If you're gonna launch Super Heavy, holy crap. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Why? Jeez, I didn't realize it was okay to show gore.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Hey, weather guy. Well, how else are they going to get it to the recycling center? Magic? When will we get a Starship Crusher? Soon. Not safe for space news. NSFSN. NESN? Hey. Last for some more energia footage. Just use a steel calculator, and Super Heavy's weight is probably around 60 tons, just the steel. Yeah, so well over 100. Cool. Look how they massacred my boy. Look how they massacred my boy. Buonasera. Buonasera. That is slow. Well, they're not going to go fast on the first time. How much would you need to be paid to ride the chopstick up? Nothing? I'd do that. It'd be a little freaky, but I'd do it. Yo, look at that. Oh, that's so cool. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can get my... Oh my goodness, that's so cool, dude. Oh, that's so neat. Oh my god. Dude, when this catches something, it is gonna be righteous. Right, Fed Up? Is this happening, man? Is SpaceX really trying to catch a freaking booster with this thing? I have to pitch myself every day. Is this happening? Are we doing this? Alright. I'm not upset. That's for sure. That ladder really conveys the scale of this thing pretty well. That thing is beefy, man. Oh my goodness. It's just a giant 3D printer. It looks like a giant Jello mold. I hate Jello. Oh, come on, man. There's always room for Jello. How about pudding? Oh, I love pudding. I want to see a detailed blueprint of what those bearings that interact with the rails on the side of the tower look like. They're called linear bearings, Signer. NASA Spaceflight figured out who makes them, but I forget what it is off the top of my head. What is it sliding on? Tracks. It's like a monorail. See those little grooves? That little groove on the post right there? That's the track. Right there. See it? Like 3 monorails put together. Yeah, a tri-rail, sure. I think you guys got the wrong department. This isn't the office of being technically right. That's down 2 doors. This is the office of shut the hell up. Oh, and if you want to shut up, you've come to the right place. Congratulations. The technical office is over there, though. Ah! Why? Hello, I'd like to have one argument, please. Oh, well, that's the internet room. That's down there. Wicked! Oh, wait a minute. You don't have an army. Guess that means you need to shut the frick up. How can it take so much weight of the booster while moving and sliding? Where's the strength coming from? The elevators? We get it, Pad. You vape. Jesus. Damn. The cable is probably going to hold it, yeah. This is nitrogen gas that's being vented out the pad. They're testing the pad vent system. Because the pad venting system, guys, is how they're going to start the outer Raptors. The outer Raptors, the Raptor boosters, so any Raptor that has an RB designation, they use nitrogen to start the turbo pumps. We were talking about this when we were looking at that 0120 schematic before. The RD0120 on Energia uses helium to spin the turbo pumps to start it. Those outer Raptor boosters, since they only need to start once and then they shut off, and then the inner engines need to start multiple times, so they have their own nitrogen systems. That's those pockets that are down on the bottom of the booster carrying nitrogen to start the center engines. But the outer engines only need to be started once, right? So they outsourced the starter motors for those rocket engines to the ground service equipment, to the GSE. That's what that pad outgassing is. Psst. EJ, thanks so much for covering this stuff. Even if I'm not around all the time, I always love the Space News VODs. Hey, right on, Flight Sim. Yeah, no problem. I'm not sure what that means, Vaxar, but okay. New Far Cry 6 DLC? Oh, man. Dude, that's a game that I didn't even finish. Yeah, Far Cry 6 was fun, man. I wanted to go play that some more. The arms are going pretty fast right now. Pause. We are pausing the video so you can see this live view coming from our friends at NASA Spaceflight. Oh, right there. Yo, those are going a lot faster than before. Flight Sim gifted 5 subs. Thanks, man.
Discovery.
Go at throttle up. Thanks, buddy. Those are going quite fast. Least I could do with so much quality content. Hey, my pleasure. Tell your friends. Protect your crops. Confuse your neighbors. Hail a cab, testify in church, or just raise the roof. What are those dangly bits? Load simulators, hokey. Or they wanted to give Mechazilla a parabolics. No, not parabolic. No, something different. They're going to fill those up with water, from what I understand, and they're going to pull down on the arms to make sure that they can lift heavy, from what I understand. From what I understand things that I understand, and that's pretty neat. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Sorry. To the left and to the right. By the way, how did the USSR defense go in Hearts of Iron 4? Good, Gujar. We defeated Japan, and now I'm gearing up to kick the trash out of the Allies because they all turned on me. They all started spying on me and all canceled their non-aggression pacts once we took out Japan. It's alright, we'll nuke them into the Stone Age. Yeah, that'll be fun. They all started spying on me. I'm like, why are you spying on me? What did I do to you? So we'll slap them around a little bit. You can't spy on me. I'm spying on you. Cold War. In one sentence. We are sorry for spying on you, you damn Canadians. You can't fire me. I quit. No, that's not how that works. Yeah, I liked it better the way I said it, man. Look at those arms go up, dude. Dude, like I said, that's pretty quick, man. I mean, that's how fast they're gonna have to move. Oh. Prepare to fast forward. Preparing to fast forward. Fast forwarding, sir. No. Pass this part. In fact, never play this part again.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
That thing is moving quite quickly, actually. I wonder if they're gonna, like, very quickly make this thing go up and down. Okay. I'm wondering, so, okay, let's see what they do here. The arms can do this. So, like, if you're looking at the pad from the top down, and here's the orbital launch mount. The arms can go over the orbital launch mount. They can pivot to the left, or they can pivot to the right. That's what we meant when we said our balls are always bouncing to the left and to the right. So the arms can go left and right. Right now, the arms are in the leftmost position. Let's see if they move them over the pad. I'd be interested to see it because that's what they did with the integration footage from yesterday that we just saw. Catching would look insane. We'd never see anything like it. It would be ridiculous. See that thing on the left? That's what they're gonna catch. That thing on the left. All right. SpaceX has a drone over it as well. All right, it seems to be in the top position here. Let's see if the arms start swinging. You'll know when that happens. And that little speck up there is definitely a drone. I wonder what that thing going up and down sounds like. Like, does it make a noise, like zzz, zzz, zzz. Like what does that even sound like? Crane noises. It's a winch. All right, let's see if they swing them. Oh, oh. Yeah, right. Weather guy. Read last, please. How did these things slow down? I'm assuming some kind of electromagnetic braking, like on those drop rides in amusement parks. I mean, I'd assume. Actually, I wouldn't even think like that, Midget. It's more like an elevator. How does an elevator slow down? All it does is just slow the pulley that's moving the elevator and the counterweight. I'd assume it's something like that. Does it sound like the Star Trek door opening? Right? Maybe it sounds like the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps. Is there a counterweight? Nope. It's just a motor, a big electric motor that's down here in this part of the pad. There's two of them. The what? The what and the what? You know, the bleeps. The sweeps. And the creeps. That's not all he's lost. The radar, sir. It appears to be jammed. Hopefully Tesla arrived. I actually think they lifted them off of an oil rig. Yeah, I think it's surplus oil rig parts. Cyber City. Yeah, Killer, the mass simulators aren't full, though. They're just kind of there. What if the rope snaps during the catch? Well, they have two cables, I think. I'm pretty sure it's double redundant, so both cables would have to snap. So the catch tower is a square, right? And at the bottom, on the two back halves of the square, there's two huge motors that are pulling the pulleys. And both of the wires go up this side here, and then up at the top they go and see the two different pulleys right there, 1 and 2. They're right next to each other. And then on this thing, we know there's a couple of sets of wires, so they probably have two pulleys, and those pulleys are probably geared, meaning that the line goes over and over and over and over again. Here, Boo, look. It's just a live feed, but the reason why we're watching the live feed is because of this. They just did this. The oil rigs are just sitting there doing nothing. They just moved them. Look at that. So SpaceX had parts for a second tower in the fuel plant. They're sending them to Cape Canaveral. Oh. Very nice. Jupiter. Where? That thing is so ridiculous, dude. It does look like a parachute drop tower, doesn't it, Kuro? Yeah. Could be a passive system, Synerd. I don't know. What an absolute unit. Indeed, man. Indeed. She's a freaking beast, man. Do they need a hose to fill them up? Yeah, I think so. You think they're going to cover it in cladding? Yes. Yeah, I do, Sebi. The tabs are on the horizontal bars for the cladding. I just think they're going to do that when it's done. I wonder what kind of tolerances are required for the bearings on those rails. Probably not a lot, Gujar. I'd say maybe a couple mil at best. Do you think these tests are with a view? Do you think these tests are with a view to stack for the launch? Yeah, they're probably learning something somewhere. Yeah, girl, that would be cool. Yeah, Frank, right? Is that a star above the tower? No. Yes? Alright. Thomas, tell me if that thing moves. We're going to check out the last NSF video. Here, we got one more. Oh. Man, that thing's going up quick. How many of these flying buttresses is this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. What are we on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow. I mean, I get it that the other half of the building is missing, but 6 is... That's some progress, man. I know, Gujar. Isn't it cool? Look at the catwalks up there and the handrails. That gives you a pretty good sense of scale here. That's a one-person catwalk up there, which is just all right. All right. They laid down the 11K today. This crane was used to place the sub-assemblies on the building. Bros. Look.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Look at the truck behind the car. Quad cab long bed, man. Oh, that color is amazing, dude. What are you talking about? Hit metric 49-month resub. Thanks, man. Oh, it's so good. Is that the original paint? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Why does it have 2 fill caps? Because it's got 2 fuel tanks, Neo. So does mine. Mine has two like that. There's a fuel tank behind the rear axle, and then there's one in front of it. 2 18-gallon tanks. Actually, the rear one is 18. The front one is like 16. But yeah, it's a beast. Forget about the truck. Look at that tiling on 21. Oh, that's nice too. Yeah, I like that. I like that as well. I've seen that before. I haven't seen that before, though. That truck is mint. Yeah, nowadays, Frank. Yeah, it wasn't like that a couple months ago. Mint green, indeed. Yeah, see, look, they put 21 back into the mid-bay. Come on, finish it. Just finish it. You know you want to. Tank treads. telescoping crawler crane right there. It's pretty rad. Those are some pipes. Pain is extra weight, Copybearer. We can't have a mint starship. It's not how that works. It's not how that works. We can dream. Yeah. I want a starship with... I would like a starship with flames painted on it. In the pattern of re-entry heating. What? It actually makes sense. It makes more sense than putting flames on a car. Car doesn't have flames on it unless it's on fire, in which case that's not what you want. Starship will be on fire when it goes through re-entry, so it makes sense. Stop judging. Man. I like to picture my starship wearing a tuxedo t-shirt. Because it says, you know, I'm here to be formal, but I want to party. Because I like party. I like my starship to party too. How about that sick Mountain Dew livery on SLS though? Nah, I don't want that. How much paint was on the first shuttle's main tank? Vaxoc, something in the ballpark of like 2,000 kilos worth of paint. An SLS simulation? Oh. Cool, I'll have to check that out. Tesla. SpaceX Ford. SpaceX Ford. How many lug nuts do you want? What is that, a 12 lug rim? Jeez. SpaceX Ford. It's got a Power Stroke in it. It's an F-450. Hey, there's an umbilical right there. Ship transport stand moved to the test site. This umbilical has the docking hooks in it. And it also has, see these struts on Heim joints? It can retract. Well, actually, no, it can't. That can't retract. It would bind up one of those Heim joints. Or maybe it can. Who knows? Cool. They have integrated the quick disconnect on the transport stand to no longer do this for transport. Yep. Inner points are on knuckles. Yeah, I think you're right. Honda. Yeah, see, these are for fueling and stuff. Fueling and tank pressurization. Oh, look, the whole thing's on a pivot, fellas. No, look. See, there's another strut right there, and then the whole umbilical is on a pivot, so when they go to put Starship down, they can rotate it out of the way. I'll bet you, to get this to retract, there's probably a jam nut right here that you just turn. You probably just turn it with a wrench and it'll retract the thing. Yeah, she is going fast, Stevie. Those things are cool, man. Dude. Okay, Stevie, millionaire scenario, we take an RV, right? And we just put it on top of this. Take the truck part off of the RV, just put the RV on this, and then just drive around with that. Oh, I got a parallel park? You know. Take an RV and just put it on top of that. Wouldn't that be cool? That'd be the best contraption ever. Right, Predominant? They absolutely do. Just take 4 of these things, couple them together, put the RV on top, and boom. You have an overlanding RV that can literally go over anything. might as well just have a tank. I wonder if Ship 21 is going on this thing. Build it like a big Mars rover? Hell yeah. Now we're talking, Jack. Wouldn't that be cool? Perfect for packed F1 grids. Yeah. SpaceX Ferd. One of these days, guys, you'll see my truck down there. You'll see my Ferd down there. In one of these vidges. Maybe. Just drive by. It's more likely for Ship 20. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. I do, weather guy, yeah. And attach those catching arms to the front. Yep. Yep, see there. Oh, the screen got stuck. Oh, nope. Do you keep in touch with these Boca Chica filmers? I know a guy who knows a guy. Ah, yes. Dirt. No, they're moving the berm. They're moving the berm away. I don't think they messed up. I have a feeling that they're expanding the fuel farm. SRV is the ultimate in suburban warfare. Jim, you and I both know people would buy it. Probably a lot more people than we think, too. You know, don't sit here and be like, no. You can think of several areas around the country that would that have clientele that would like something like that. Also, SpaceX Ford. Yeah, I guess what Zach was saying about code and stuff was right. There's also the spool for one of the catch wires. See the other wires on the other side on another spool. You could just see it over there. See the 2 spools? Those 2 things move and they zip the trolley up and down the side of Mechazilla. Oh! It's like, help me! Help! Ah! I've fallen and I can't get up. All senior citizens should have life alert. Invest in spaghetti, never forgetty. John Wayne said that, I think. Those are the nitrogen tanks right there to spin up the Raptor engines. And they're using argon for welding over there. You can tell it's argon because of the way it is. I don't know what weather guy, maybe. Bruh. That's a real throwback. It's going good, Clay. How are you? Look at that thing. That thing's gonna catch a freaking rocket. I don't know how, but it's gonna do it. Yeah, it's pretty good footage, if I do say so myself. Bro. Okay. Oh, that was the end of the video. Should they cover those tow cables up with something? I mean, they're still cables, dude. They'll be fine. And this is the current view of this thing right now. They didn't move the jacks yet, but here, take a look. This is what they just did a second ago. Watch. They moved them all the way up top. And just like that, Booter 3 has been disabled. Disassembled. Oh no, not Booter 3! Oof. Oof! Bro, do you even lift? Will they recycle that steel? I'm guessing, yeah, absolutely. I'll bet you that's going right back to the foundry. Prominent, if I had to guess. SpaceX about Booster 3. Oh no! Anyway. They should sell pieces of it for wall art? Well, they could recycle it and just convert it back into more rolls of steel. As metals for the most part are very recyclable. Like, very recyclable. Like, you get back 100% of what you recycle. So, like, this thing. See, this is a can, right? An aluminum can. You know, the amount of aluminum in this can, you could take that and you could cut the top off, make another can. Or you could just melt it down and make another soda can. It's 100% recyclable. Invisican. Fine, I'll use this one. Is this better? Can you see this one? Want me to turn it up? Real question. Does SpaceX use only that good Bethlehem steel? Does Bethlehem steel still even exist? Ew, it says Boston on it. Yeah, at least it isn't a fake city name like the city that you grew up in, Predominant. That's not a real name. It's not a real name. Wumbo or Flagbo or whatever. That ain't a real name. Dubbo is a real place. Dubbo. Yeah, okay. Sure it is.
Discovery, go at throttle.
That's a better name than Boston. I don't see them putting Dubbo on the Guinness cans. Just like Wagga Wagga and Wollongong. Bits from Sawyer. While we wait, what are we waiting for? I need you to watch this trailer. It's got space shuttles. It's the Moonfall trailer, and no. Also, hi. That's Dumbo. That's not a real city name. That ain't a real name. Bethlehem has been demoed for years. Yeah, Arbalest. Shame. Oops, that was me dropping the can. We should bring it back. And we should call it Keklehem steel. Yeah, like or Kekthehem. Yeah, just like that. Keklehem steel. Yes. Yes. And we will only make the finest steels. The best of the best of the best, sir! With honors. We should call it Keklehem steel. And it has to be in Pittsburgh if we're going to do this. Has to be in Pittsburgh, and has to be literally the best steel that money can buy. I'm like only partially kidding, I'll be honest with you. That'd be really nice. Wow, Moonfall looks awful. Yeah, I'm not watching that trailer. I don't need to lose more brain cells, man. Also, I already showed it on stream, but I have this for you. It's coming from Elon. Very, very provocative tweet. I could be your material scientist. I'm graduating in May, May, perfect timing. We should do that. I mean, there was a Bethlehem Steel too, here too, Shaw, but I don't think Massachusetts let you do that. Hang on. My grandfather worked for Bethlehem Steel. Once upon a time. Defunct 2003, 19 years ago. What happened? Bethlehem Steel Corporation would file for bankruptcy in 2001 and dissolve in 2003. Despite its closing of local operations, Bethlehem Steel Corporation tried to reduce the impact on the Lehigh Valley area with plans to revitalize the south side of Bethlehem. It hired consultants to develop conceptual plans on the reuse of the massive property. The consensus was to rename the 163-acre site Bethlehem Works and to use it for land and use the land for cultural, recreational, educational, entertainment, and retail development. Ugh. Gross. My evening is going fine, Hellfish. How are you? I'm still gonna watch that movie. It looks hilarious. How you doing? I'm doing all right. All right. Well, that sucks. Anyway, in the trailer, the space shuttle launches while getting hit by a tsunami. The steel stacks in Bethlehem are really cool. They're actually doing a good service to the area of the old mill. Yeah, that's fine. They look great. Yeah, you know what would be cooler if they were working. Just putting it out there. That would be really nice. I think that would be better than a cultural, educational, retail, mixed-use site. I think that the mills should still be on, but that's just me. What is this, Thomas? Official renders of the complete Simona program system for maritime launch patrol. The Italian Navy Garibaldi C-551 aircraft carrier will be converted as a naval satellite launch platform and making the acquisition of a strategic and independent national access to space. Italy's going to take their aircraft carrier and convert it into a launch pad. Sistema italiano messa in orbita navali. Dopo le operazioni di integrazione missile tubo estrattori. Operations and integration for the missile tube. Sollevamento e successivo movement della torre verso popa. Taking the vehicle vertical. Successful movement of the missile tube. If you need translation, I'm in. I think I got it, Andy. Just you correct me if I'm wrong. Sollevamento e successivo movimento della torre verso popa. Basically, what's this last part, dude? Hold on. Successive movement. Odds that rocket will be put in a spinella with the pad. Torre is no mundo. Mundo is Earth in Italian. Have you seen this? It's a drone show at a baseball game. Yeah. Posizionamento finale e innesco generatori di gas de expulsión. This is in the final position for launching. Yeah, maybe, Alex, yeah. This is a missile tube from a submarine just on a launcher. That's it. And they just use a crane to turn the thing vertical and then they fire it. Yeah, guys, this is, I don't know. It's just they're using ICBMs for sat launchers and they have SPMTs. And they're using the back of their aircraft carrier for that? And ignition and gas generators for expulsion. Ah, okay. What does this thing use? Harriers. Hang on. I have to. I'm curious. I want to read something real quick. Let's go over here. Let's go here like this. Giuseppe Garibaldi. All right, is an Italian aircraft carrier. First through deck aviation of the Italian Navy. She's equipped with a short takeoff and vertical landing. Okay. That's cute. This is a little tiny boy. No, that's cute. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that little aircraft carrier. That's cute. Yeah, it's like a wasp, Maggie. Basically the same thing. Cute little toy right there. What the hell did they do to that Harrier? You've been on the Wasp? Oh, hell yeah, man. There you go. It's kind of like the Wasp, yeah. And then there's a... Is that a kid class behind it? The Turkish frigate TGC Gediz. That's good. Hang on. That was built in San Pedro. That was built in Long Beach, man. Cool. Yeah, okay. What class of ship is this? Hazard Perry. Yeah, okay. It's a knockoff of the British carriers? Oh. Is it? Oh, it's turbine powered. Hell yeah, it's turbine powered. Turbines are the best, man. 2009, it was replaced by Cavour. Ooh. Look at that thing. Look at that thing. Oh, hey. How you doing? Tessa, it does have some Mark Royale vibes, doesn't it? Now that's a lineup. Yeah, I don't hate what's going on in this picture. Fifth Fleet right there. Wouldn't take long to sink her. I mean, that's our ally. I don't see why we need to do that. We could just laugh and say that it's small, but we don't need to sink it. Italy has two carriers, Garibaldi and Cavour. Garibaldi is the older one. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, and then there's this thing. Hmm. Okay. More space stuff. Oh, there is anything. Okay. Now, that other one, we can sink that one. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Time resolve on steady surface pressure fluctuation on the NASA SLS model. Measured using high-speed 10 kilohertz unsteady pressure-sensitive paint. Captured in the 11 by 11 transonic unitary plan wind tunnel at NASA Ames. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Huh. Guys got to adjust the rabbit ears, man. We got to adjust the rabbit ears. We're not getting good reception. You can hear the noise, can't you? Yeah, pressure-sensitive paint. Yeah, that's really neat. That's really freaking cool, actually. Change the channel, though. Note, guys, that the SLS version that they're testing there is a Block 1 cargo.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Gee, what are we going to do with that? Do they capture differences in illumination visibly? The paint reacts to different pressure on the vehicle. Boo-boo. Literally nothing. You shut up. Not interested, Forge. That's cool, man. See, the thing that they use to mount this is supposed to mimic the rocket exhaust. That's why it's conic. See how it's conic out? That means it's going to be similar to the pressure waves from the rocket engines. I mean, don't get me wrong. The real ones would probably be another one over here and another one over here, but they don't need that part. This is just trying to simulate basically lower pressure down here. And also, this is for the body of the vehicle, not the exhaust. The exhaust is a different simulation. That's a really sick model of SLS, though. I kind of want it. Yeah, cargo. Block 1 cargo variant. Very nice. Neat desk toy. Something tells me that thing is like 20 feet tall. In my opinion, SLS just looks right. Yeah. Do you mean high pressure at the bottom? Yeah, sure. If I said low pressure, yeah, that's not what I meant. Yeah, there's high pressure down there because rocket exhaust. Oh, first, you probably knew what I meant, though. That's the thing. You probably knew. You might like this, though. What is this? Cool video, day 1. Simulations of... Yeah, bloody stub. Yeah, that's good. Simulations for a Mars re-entry concept from NASA Ames. The mesh had nearly 1 billion elements. That's nice. Oh, that's dope. Can you explain what this is? Well, no, I cannot. Oh, that's one. Dude, that's a computer simulation, which is amazing. That's really cool. The next thing, let's see. So this is another clarification by Thomas here about the Starliner capsule. Boeing reached out to clarify that NASA and Boeing differed on how they characterized a similar type of risk to one another to the... Boeing reached out to clarify that NASA and Boeing differed on how they characterized a similar type of risk to the one later discovered after the OFT reviews. It's not uncommon to have differences in the risk scoring on the magnitude of various technical issues being addressed at the review. This is because we use different rubrics or scoring systems for our risk assessments. Using different assessments can be healthy for the program as it allows management to better understand the total level of risk as the scoring systems look through different lenses to ultimately drive down risk and increase crew safety. Hey, Glitrub. Glitrub, are you here? Glitrub. Come on. Glit, tell me you're here, man. I don't mean to call out viewers like that are watching the stream. Glit, are you here, dude? Glitrub. I need you for a second. Squatches, 8-month resub. Thanks, man. Come on, please be here. Please be here. Glitrub. Technique. Riv, what supersonic retropropulsion does is it shoots rockets at re-entry heat to get the re-entry heat to go away. Yeah, it's really cool. That's what Falcon 9 does when it re-enters. That's why the first stage doesn't have a heat shield. It just shoots its rocket engines at the re-entry heat and it pushes the heat away. He's not here. Damn, that sucks. Because I was gonna sit here and tell everybody about how I was right and they were wrong. Kind of wanted to do that. Glitrub and I were right. Bet it doesn't feel good, does it? Now, where are those people that were saying there was two different things? Or they weren't two different things? Where are you guys? Where's your God now? Where's your God now? You have reached Glitrub's message box. Please leave a message after the beep. You can make me the scapegoat. I don't mind. Nah, I like you. We're good. Are you a god? No? Then die. Out am I? Brimo and I saw Spoderman yesterday, by the way. It was nice. I don't want to talk about it. It's too early. Do I like you? No. No, I really don't. You're annoying. Hey, Funky Flex, what's going on? Are you Spoderman? Are you Spoderman? I'm both scared and afraid to know if I'm liked by EJ. Scodaman, yes. French Spoderman. Sponderman. Spudio Man? Diamond Man? Diamond Man? Okay, cool. There was a little bit of a follow-up there. That's pretty sweet. I think we are good. Did I miss anything? I don't think I missed anything. I think we are okay. Also, to cap off space news, here is a cool Reddit thread here. You guys might want to check out those load simulator bags that are on the Mechazilla right now. Here, check it out. Here's the render of what it's supposed to look like. Who did these renders, by the way? I forget who did them. Thomas, can you get me a link for the render? Obel? Thanks, Entropy. We should link up his Twitter in here if we haven't done that already. I think it's a mail tower. How can you tell? From the balls. From the balls.
Some balls are held for charity, and some for fancy dress. But when they're held for pleasure, they're the balls that I like best. My balls are always bouncing to the left and to the right. It's my belief that my big balls should be held every night.
What? Sorry, I won't do that again. That was a lie. They're moving down? No. They're lowering the balls? What is happening?
Nothing. See you tomorrow in class, Miss Vaughn.
Yeah, here we go. Are they lowering the balls? Yep. Something's wrong. They're coming back down. Look at that thing. Mechzilla's moving again. Yep, the drone is droning things. Actually, I think that's a bird. Look at them move, dudes. They're getting faster and faster, man. They went from barely moving these things like a week ago to just full up and down the tower. It's really freaking cool. No, kitten. We do not teabag the launch pad. T belongs in the harbor. Thank you very much. But birds aren't real. Yeah, there is. There's one flying around right there. So the road closure tomorrow, I think it's for testing these. Seems like a stretch. Are we still making jokes or... Maybe. I agree. Caden, I'm with you. I'm with you on that one. He absolutely did. Just imagine how epic it'll look with the booster. So any news on when they do the orbital flight? Bruce, it's going to take a while. The pad isn't finished. From what I understand, SpaceX had some problems with the methane tanks. They're not to code. So they installed new tanks next to the old tanks. Like, these tanks are no good. Not all of those tanks, but some of them are no good. From what I understand. I could be wrong about that one. So the pad isn't finished, dude. Long story short. That's the right way to say that. Pad's not done. And the FAA's programmatic environmental assessment comment evaluation period, they said they'll have it done by February 28th. So, short story, no earlier than, I'd say, March 1st. That's literally 2 months from now, man. Yep. But you gotta remember, the pad ain't finished yet, dude. So, yeah. I mean, I would say that there's still at least 2 months worth of work left on the pad, so I wouldn't go barking up the FAA's tree, dude. I think that the FAA made that date knowing full well how much SpaceX needs to finish to get this thing working.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Honestly, I don't think I think we're 2 months out from a launch regardless, even if the FAA gave them the green light tomorrow. Ghosty launches on March 1st? No, Ghosty. That's cool. Hey, Admiral 29-month resub. Thank you. Will be Goes 18. I miss Gozar. Gozer the Gozerian. Gozer the Gozerian, as a representative of the state, county, and municipality of New York, I formally advise you to cease and desist all paranormal activity and return close to whatever the closest parallel dimension is. Are you a god? No. Then die. Sorry, that's 2 times for that reference today. So, okay, so I'll be expecting a March at the most optimistically sometime in March. Yeah, I would say that's about right. The trouble is that it's the same for SLS. SLS and Starship, just through sheer coincidence, might both launch in March, which is... Oh, boy. I saw big balls on the thumbnail. What's SLS? NASA's big rocket. For you, Dan. Lots of driving in your future. Why do you think I'm doing so much work on the truck when it off the stream, dude? Ray, next time someone asks you if you're a god, you say yes! You do great voice impressions. Thank you. Radar measurement system Sentinel-1B is experiencing severe power issues since December 23rd and still unresolved. Big bad news for Earth science and climate monitoring. Oh no! Anyway. I'm just kidding. Those satellites are important. We got big balls! Fancy big ball! Rip Bond, man. What a legend. Clarkson! Oh, cock. Oh, boy. Alex, you know how I've said, like, in the past, how it would be really cool to have, like, the climate satellites be able to be upgraded and serviced? like, as we understand more about climate change, and then paying somebody to go up there and service them Hubble style. Remember how I said that? Remember when I said that? Remember how I said that's a good idea? Remember that part? There you go. So, what's going on in the current view that you have right now? Bruce, watch. Ready? I'll rewind it. That's what's up, homie. Look at that thing. I never said it wasn't a good idea. No, I didn't say I told you so. I just said remember that part. Don't get confused. What the weather in Minnesota does to men. No, you don't get to look at it anymore. Well, Hemmons crashed again. Applicants to be a new presenter of Grand Tour apply directly to I Can Drive a Car Without Exploding Amazon, and we'll get back to you. And on that bombshell, back to the studio. Nice catch, Launchpad Nino. Too bad you just got